Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the Kickstarter demo for the, I guess it's technically an indie game, the indie Otome game, Burn the Midnight Oil. This essentially follows the protagonist as they go around town, I think solving mysteries, something along those lines, while meeting different people. And I believe in the final game there are supposed to be romance routes. This demo just contains the common route, which is like essentially the setup for the game. The complete game is not out at the moment. I'll link like the social medias of the developers below so you can get more information on it if you're curious. But the main reason I wanted to check this out is because one of my friends sent me some screenshots of the characters from this game, and specifically one of the main characters, let's just say their character design is very nice. So I guess we'll just get into it. So the way the game is set up, there are two characters that you can choose from to play as. One, the female character here, whose name is Circe, and the other, the male character. And then depending on which character you choose to play, you get a different story and you get different romance options. Okay, let's check the content warnings. 17 and up, and then here they are if you need them. It's a little bit hard to see the mouse, I won't lie, sometimes. Hopefully that's not a huge issue. It might be nice actually to have it more camouflaged in the game itself. I have my brightness at max. It is a little tough to see the mouse at times. Okay, we're gonna definitely play as Circe. I guess the male character's name is Dante, but we should be able to see both of their profiles. So she does look like one of my favorite characters of all time, Tiasa Fallen from Your Turn to Die, which is why we're gonna be going with her. Let's see, Circe. I know she's a vampire and she is a private investigator. I don't know what a maker is. Is that like the person who turned her into a vampire? I can't really read that, but it says, personal history: for 2 years, Circe stalked the streets of North Haven as a private investigator. Accompanied by her sidekick Edgar, she mostly deals with trivial jobs like catching cheating spouses, finding missing pets, and slaying vampires. I mean, the last one doesn't sound too trivial. In recent years, Circe's lost her passion for detective work, but the city isn't done with her yet when she's approached by two different clients looking for the same person. Someone just rang my doorbell. Okay, hang on, let me go check if it's a package or if it's like a person. Okay, I'm back. It was just a package. When she's approached by two different clients looking for the same person, she decides to take on this one last case. Ooh, one last case? That actually does sound pretty interesting. She's got like graffiti scribbles in the back. Beaumont Museum explosion. Interesting. Okay, and then we'll check out Dante's profile as well. Dante, he's like a I get it. So vampires and werewolves. I wish we could get the two of them to romance each other. Orion Walker as emergency contact. It's interesting that Circe has a maker, but Dante has an emergency contact. Occupation, ex-police officer or something. It's giving a little bit cagey. Let's see, personal history. Several years ago, Dante struck a deal with Orion, a former friend of his mother. Stuck in North Haven ever since, Dante unwillingly works as a cop. He spends his nights chasing criminals, waiting for the day when he'll finally have fulfilled his end of the deal. At last, Orion puts Dante on his final case. There's a suspicious new drug on the market. He wants Dante to investigate, but the roots of this problem might be even more dangerous than they thought. Playing a little Giorno Giovanni here. What do we have in the background? Zeno wanted for drug trade. Say no to drugs. Oh gosh. something something Francesca, and then there's like an allusion to some angsty childhood thing in the background. Okay, well, Dante looks very polite and well behaved. But we will be playing Circe for this demo. Somewhere. Don't remember the month. 1966. I already have a limited amount of sanity, and I don't know if there's gonna be anything left by the end of this. Something not quite human sits on the edge of a stranger's bed. Leisurely lapping at the blood coating her fingertips, and there's blood on her fingertips already. Guys, we're 5 seconds into the game. Savoring her leftovers. She turns her head to stare at tonight's meal. A handsome man currently lost inside his dreams. Okay, I thought he was dead for a moment. So, you know, she has some level of self-control, I suppose. By the way, I'm trying not to like scream into the microphone right now because her hair in the scene, because of the lighting, it's like shaded green. So she has dark skin, green hair, red eyes, and she's covered in blood. Like, close enough. Welcome back, Tiasa Fallen. That's like the exact color palette of one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. Let's see, she wants to be certain she's not imagining the steady rise and fall of his chest. The last thing she needs is a trail of bodies leading them to her. I wouldn't blame her if she went a little too far. But even the imprints of her teeth on his fair skin have already faded. When he wakes up tomorrow, his memories of the entire night, of her too, will be gone. He'll go on with his life like he never met her. He'll get married, have a kid or two, grow old, die. She'll remember him for a while, but she won't be sad about it or miss him or ever ponder what could have been. He's not the first meal whose bed she's seduced herself into, and he could never be the last. So pretty. Her eyes trace the stranger's features one last time, searching in vain for a different face. Ooh, she's got some ex issues. I mean, we all have a little bit of baggage, I suppose. His face. Before your humanity was stolen from you, could you have been anything like this man? Or have you always worn your penchant for destruction with unbridled pride? When the stranger stirs in his sleep, she accepts that she won't find whatever it is she's looking for here. Bro, she is so attractive. It's actually unreal. We gotta keep it together. This is like the first scene of the game. But essentially at the end of Your Turn to Die, Fallen's eyes turn red. Okay, moving on. The time has come to part ways. Sweet dreams, Arthur. At least she thinks that was his name. You know, baby girl, you can call me whatever you want. Maker. It is midnight, and I am writing to you from yet another city whose name I couldn't be bothered to learn. I'm not sure what day it is, or how long it's been since I bid you goodbye for the last time. Maybe it's been days, maybe it's been weeks, maybe it's been even years. Oh gosh, they're dead. At first, I thought it was some sort of daddy issues, but, you know, it might be worse that they're dead, actually. Oops, I forgot to read the rest of that. It's mostly men. I desperately want them to remind me of you, even though none of them look anything like the you I knew. Grief is one of my favorite themes to explore in fiction. So needless to say, I am very happy right now. Living or dead, I suspect no one will ever remind me of you. I should probably be grateful for that, shouldn't I? Maker. I have taken to hunting every night just to keep sane, but I don't think it's working. I fear I may have lost my mind long ago without noticing. Tapping my skull with my nails. Madness and the toll of living for a long time on like borderline immortal creatures. Very peak as well. 3456 from Black Box LSS, which we played previously on the channel, also kind of had this conundrum. I mean, we didn't get to see too much of her actual struggles because that game was from the point of view of a love interest rather than that character themselves, but always another very fascinating thing to explore in fiction. At least, I don't think I'm making things worse. At least, I'm keeping busy, which means I have less time to think. Ah, yes, the bordering on some kind of existential crisis, but you know, I'm employed right now, so that's just gonna have to wait. That's a good thing. If I think too hard or too long, I'll start thinking of you. I make bad decisions when I think of you. Maker. Remember how you always used to say that creatures like us weren't made for rules? I always disagreed, but only out of spite. We both knew that you were right. I hate being told what to do. I hate it so much. I'll fuck everything up for myself just to do the opposite. I miss it now, though. If you were here, I wouldn't have these doubts. I wouldn't have to worry about right or wrong. You would make all the decisions. Ooh, the only thing I love more than grief is a good old-fashioned toxic codependent relationship. You alone would be responsible for the terrible, terrible consequences of our actions. Without you, I find that I'm no longer just lonely. I'm alone. You promised me even death could never part us. So why didn't you take me with you? I'm actually low-key losing it. Codependent relationships and the essentially forced separation of them is so juicy. She slinks away from the crowd, seeking shelter in the shadows of the nearest alleyway. Shit. So this is it? All these years lead to this. She's still doing the exact same bullshit that she used to do when she was trailing after him, only now she's doing it alone. And to what end? What is the point of living like this? Hell, can you even call it living? What? She almost doesn't dare say it. What if I just ended it? She's already died once. Her second death doesn't even have to count. Some might call it suicide, but Circe gave up on heaven a long time ago. If such a place even exists, she was barred from entry many murders ago. All of these things might end someday anyway. Perhaps it's my turn now. That thought brings her a strange sense of peace. She slows her heart down, leans her head against the brick wall, and just listens. She hears traffic. She hears laughter. She hears music. She hears colleagues stumbling to their next bar, arguing over who owes the next round. She hears couples spilling out of the cinema, giggling and necking, and whatever couples do. If she really strains her ears, she can even hear a couple of homeless drunks laughing their asses off over a joke that definitely doesn't deserve such unfiltered glee. It all sounds like life. Fuck. All these years. All these years. And she's ready to kick the bucket because what? Because he is gone? She can't even make it a year without him. How's that fair? It's not. It's just not fair at all. It's stupid. And worst of all, it's humiliating. She's mourned enough, doubted her decisions enough. She wants to live, so she's going to live. Yeah, that's right. She'll keep going out of pure fucking spite if that's what it takes. Something drives through her chest, narrowly missing her undying heart. Ayo. Okay, is this some random NPC or is this a love interest? There's a heartbeat, beating so violently it has to hurt. It takes her longer than it should to remember it can't be hers. Her eyes shift from the improvised stake in her chest to the man responsible for it. Perhaps he's more of a boy than a man. He can't be a lot older than she was when she was changed. Not that any of that matters right now. A stake to the heart? How medieval of you. The man, boy, doesn't respond. He's busy watching in horror as she rips the stake out of her chest. She doesn't flinch at the pain. It's there, like an incessant little bug, but it doesn't really hurt. Never does anymore. If I may offer some advice for the next time you try to murder one of us, don't bother with the classics. Crosses, garlic, and all that nonsense, none of it works. Except the sun, but she's not stupid, so she's omitting that part. Don't be afraid. She takes a step forward. He's trembling now, but still not a word. You're the one who tried to kill me. Shouldn't I be the one to fear you? She catches her hand right before it touches his face. She hadn't even realized she was reaching for him. It's a bad habit of hers. She's always cold, so she's always reaching for warmth. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna be so normal about this. Why don't we play a game? Why don't you guess what can kill me? She doesn't like the silence. She wants to make him talk. If you get it right, I'll even reward you. Generous, no? More silence. This isn't some trick. I find you vaguely entertaining, so I intend to let you keep your life either way. Still silent. She stomps her foot, frustration seeping through. You're not going to talk to me at all? He's not even meeting her eyes anymore. She follows his gaze downwards. Ugh, men. Interesting choice of priorities, checking out my boobs at a time like this. Don't ask me the color of her shirt. What? No, that's vile. I would never do that. He speaks. Well, now I'm offended. What's wrong with my boobs? You want a better look? Nothing. I think. I mean, I wouldn't know because I wasn't looking at your chest area. I'm not that kind of man. Then what kind of man are you? He ignores the question. I was looking at that. He gestures wildly to the hole in her chest. Oh. Or rather, where the hole used to be, less than a minute ago. It's already healed, like it was never there. Another reason luck isn't on your side tonight. I just fed. What? I just fed, so I heal faster. The blank, stupid look on his face is oddly endearing. Okay, Circe, my lady, you cannot be picking up random men in the back alleys after they just tried to stab you. It's never that serious. Do you know nothing about our biology, idiot? What did you just say to me? I called you an idiot. Would you like me to repeat that? He whips out the knife she already knew he was hiding in the pocket of his coat. Don't patronize me. He points the blade at her. Or call me an idiot. If you behave like an idiot, I am going to call you one. Simply smarten up if it bothers you. You think I care what you think of me, you leech? Evidently, you're not particularly good at hiding your thoughts. Why are you dragging this out? I'll never beg a vampire for my life if that's what you're waiting for, so just kill me and be done with this already. She sort of, kind of, not really, tries to stifle her laugh. It pisses him off even more. What's so funny? Sorry, it's just your accent. I only realized it now, but it's so British. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do a fake British accent. Welcome to North Haven, England, where quite literally everyone talks like this. Oh, so that's where we are. She looks around, taking in her surroundings for the first time. She's not sure how she got here. But it doesn't matter anymore, does it? She's here now. You're not from here. What gave it away? Your accent. Are you American? When it's convenient. Suppose it doesn't matter where you came from, you still fit in perfectly with the other bloodthirsty freaks in the city. Heh, you amuse me. I definitely can't kill you now. Why not? Why, you almost sound disappointed. Of course not. But it doesn't matter what I want, you should do it anyway. Why? Because we can't both walk away from here, it doesn't work that way. Says who? He rolls his eyes. How about this? If you don't kill me first, I'm going to stab you in the back as you walk away. With that silly little kitchen knife, I've seen babies with stronger grips on their toys than you've got on that. His grip loosens. Meanwhile, I could kill you with minimal effort, right here, right now. I could snap your skinny little neck with my bare hands and not even break a sweat. Only that wouldn't be very fun now, would it? I don't kill as often as you may think, so I like to take pleasure in it when I do. I'd make it slow, slice your neck, but keep the cut shallow enough that I'd have to suck the blood out. I prefer to drink straight from the tap, you see. More intimate that way. Once I've drained you, I'll dump your corpse behind one of these bins and skip town. By the time someone finds you, I'll be long gone. Nobody will ever know I was here. He lowers his knife, averting his gaze to stare at nothing in particular. Do what you want. There's no one left who would care to try to find me anyway. She recognizes the frustration in his eyes too well. She's seen it countless times in her own reflection. Monsters took someone from him, just like a monster once took someone from her. Well, no one will have to. As I keep saying, I'm not going to kill you. He hurries to object, but she lifts a finger, and that's enough to shut him up. And you can't kill me. You're bold, I will give you that, but I don't think you could even kill the weakest of us. You're not strong enough, and that's not an insult, or a slight against your ego, or an attempt at undermining you. It is simply fact. You are too weak. Don't you think you're underestimating me a little too much? No, I see you exactly as you are. You are no threat to me, you are no threat to anyone. Except perhaps yourself. You want revenge, but for whatever reason, you can't kill the one you actually want dead, so you poured out all your resentment into the first vampire you could find. Me, apparently. Maybe you thought I'd be an easy kill, maybe you really thought you could do it. But if I had to guess, I think you knew you would fail. I think you wanted to die. I imagine you've changed your mind by now. Staring death in the face, you're no longer so tough. Still, your pride prevails, so even if anything I just said happens to be the truth, you'd never admit to it. Would you? He drops the knife on the ground and Circe knows she's got him. He's not weak because he feels fear or because he still looks at her like she's a person deserving of empathy, or worse, sympathy. He's weak because he was born that way. Circe was much stronger when she met the one who made her. Her maker had spent an eternity mastering the art of pretending to be something he'd never be again, yet when she'd laid eyes on him, she'd still seen what he really was, a monster. But even knowing that, she'd still lost to him. She'd still been too weak. Not anymore, though. If you'd like, I could teach you. Seeing his confusion, she elaborates. How to kill vampires, I mean. You would teach me how to kill your own kind? Yeah, why not? No matter how much of an idiot you think I am, surely you don't think I'd believe that's a genuine offer. Your kind prey on the weak, but you're loyal to your own, even I know that much. He's not wrong. Contrary to popular belief, most vampires are social creatures. They thrive when they're together. In theory, at least. Reality is more complicated. It's frowned upon, I know, but I don't mind offending people. As a matter of fact, it might just be my favorite pastime. So it's not just me, you're insufferable with everyone. How dare you? But yes, I am. She offers her hand with a smile far too dangerous for anyone sensible to trust. What do you say? Do we have a deal? Great life choices, making deals with vampires in a shadowy back alley. Only an idiot would strike a deal with a devil like you. Or someone moderately desperate. A moderately desperate idiot, then. Sighing, he takes her hand. She bites back a grin. Before I forget, what's your name? Edgar James Thorne. That sounds so pretentious. I'm just going to call you Eddie, okay? If you must. What about you? What's your name? If I told you, would you even use it? Well, yes. That's what people do, isn't it? Call each other by each other's names. It's been a while since anyone has used her name, but she supposes it would be rude to withhold it from him now. They call me Circe. So may you. His grip on her hand tightens. I want to ask you something, Circe. Yes? When you've taught me all that you can, what's going to stop me from killing you? She allows herself that grin now, showing him all her teeth. Nothing but your own compassion. Circe's the type of character where I feel like when she gets really happy, she can't help but smile, and then you can kind of like hear that smile in her words, because like when your mouth is smiling, it makes kind of a different shape, and that does bleed into your intonation. North Haven, 1986. Finding Elysium isn't difficult. Sounds like some kind of bar or nightclub. The dark doesn't bother Circe the way it might others, even if it did. She's navigated these tunnels enough times to remember each step. It's getting inside that poses some trouble. It wasn't always such a hassle. Circe was once a regular at Elysium, cautiously welcomed by its patrons because of her relationship with Lazarus. It's been 6 years or so now since she's been warned to never show her face here again. Of course, that flimsy band had never stopped her before, nor will it tonight. The bouncer standing guard cuts straight to the point. Since you managed to find your way here, I take it you've got an invite? It's not a question. Lazarus paid a pretty penny for the spells that ensure only those with an invitation will ever reach Elysium. Fortunately for Circe, no one remembered to amend those spells when she was banned. Crazy security issues. Oh, you don't remember me. She is gorgeous, by the way. Stunning. Should I? Yes. But given that she doesn't recognize him either, he's probably brand new. Lucky me. What do they call you? He might not recognize her, but he'll definitely have been warned of her name, she thinks quickly. Donna. It's not going to be on the list, but it doesn't need to be. That's what her talent is for. Donna, Donna, Donna. He flips through the guest list until he hits the bottom of the last page. Yeah, no Donna. He takes a more aggressive stance, but it's all bravado. He reeks of insecurity. She will gladly exploit that. Been a while, hasn't it? I might be rusty. Okay. The game looked like it was gonna crash for a moment. I guess we gotta be careful with the save screen. I don't know if it's like some kind of issue with the software, but we'll try not to lose all our progress. Okay, so our choices are seduce him, intimidate him, persuade him. Personally, I would go with number 3. However, I kind of want to see Circe seduce him, so we'll try that. Oh, she has her own opinions on the choices. That's very nice. No, that's not the right strategy for this one. So what I'm hearing is that might be a strategy for a future one. Seduction might be a personal favorite of hers. Oh yes it is! But the method is hit or miss when it comes to other vampires. Most vamps don't share her appetite for casual sex. So you're saying we need to seduce some non-vampires in the future. Got it. Most simply can't be bothered. Without enough blood in your system, it gets quite dead down there. Well, that's why you gotta drink each other's blood, you know? I should intimidate him or persuade him. It's a safer bet. Okay, well, we'll definitely go with this. I love how we chose persuade and she immediately shows him her fangs. Ha. Well, of course, I'm not on that list. I'm not one of your every night patrons. I've been personally invited by your boss. The bouncer shuffles his feet, red eyes running over her form. When Circe smiles, he nervously smiles back. Oh yes, he does. You're certainly his type. Still, I can't let you in on your word alone. If you wait here, I'll quickly confirm with Nisha. Circe rests a hand on his bare forearm, leaning forward with a dangerous grin. You should trust me. I have no reason to lie to you. Right? Right. That was easy. Compulsion isn't mind control. She can't force people to entirely transgress their own nature. It simply sways people in certain directions. Different methods, seduction, intimidation, persuasion, work on different people. The weaker their will, the further she can push them. With enough practice and the right target, you could convince someone to do almost anything. Now, may I come in? What? Oh, yeah, of course you can. He shakes his head, still in a daze, and steps aside. Sorry about that. We'll get it sorted with Nisha, so you're on the list next time. How sweet of you. And just like that, she's in. Elysium. The only sanctuary in the city for creatures of the night. Since the 70s, Elysium's been an Epicurean haven for vamps to gather and feast without repercussions. Donors, that's what they call the humans selling their blood here. Some of them are natural masochists, taking pleasure in being fed upon. Others are only here to make some good money. Most are here for both, and a select few loonies come here with dreams of one day becoming vampires themselves. But to my knowledge, few, if any, have had the honor of experiencing the change. It's nearly been a year since Circe last set foot in Elysium. One quick look around promptly reminds her why she's been avoiding the hellhole. Nothing's changed. Everything's exactly the same. Circe inhales, her stale lungs breathing in the irresistible saccharine scent of blood. The familiarity should comfort her. In a city that's rapidly changing, more so now than ever, Elysium has been one of her only constants. But it gets so damn boring. Among the 40 to 50 something vamps who permanently reside in North Haven, Circe can count on one hand which ones aren't regulars at Elysium. They're a tight-knit group who come here night after night to dance, drink, and smooch. As for what brings Circe herself here tonight, the same reason she always comes to Elysium. She's looking for someone. Let's see. She double-checks the picture the client provided. It's an old photograph, a blonde guy, cute enough if you're in his age group, with baby blue eyes and a smile that's up to no good. Basically, I'm looking for a less alive version of this guy. She scans the dance floor for a mop of blonde curls, but there is none. Either our intel was off, and he's not here yet, or, like most of us, he's taken on a different look in his new life. It's annoying they don't have a more recent picture, but this is what the client offered, and Edgar couldn't find out anything more recent. For now, she should find someone who might have a better idea of where she can find him. Question is, should I find Nisha or Lazarus for that? Lazarus may have founded Elysium, but it's his right hand who runs the place. As a human, Nisha hadn't been a popular choice for the job. She'd fought hard to earn the patron's respect. Now, everyone, human or vampire, in Elysium turns to Nisha when they've got a problem. And anyone who messes with Elysium's equilibrium will also have to answer to her wrath. I'll have to talk to her if I want to get anything done. Ignoring the urge to make the objectively worst decision, let's go with Nisha first, and also maybe Lazarus used to be her ex. I don't know if that's true, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. It doesn't take long to find her. She's still at her favorite spot, leaned back against the bar, a cig hanging haphazardly from her red lips. Oh, she smokes. Interesting. The way her eyes curve in amusement when she spots Circe says more than words ever could. Is that who I think it is? Welcome back from the dead, babe. I wouldn't call Nisha a friend, but we do get along. It helps that Nisha is a businesswoman. Though her loyalties will always be to Lazarus and Elysium, Nisha appreciates making a little extra on the side when she can. Only, instead of selling her own blood, she sells information. That makes her more valuable to Circe than any donor could be. Missed me? I guess it does get pretty dead around here without you, no pun intended. She puts out her cig on the bar counter. Where have you been this past? Shit, has it been a year already? Ignoring how Nisha's obviously been keeping tabs on her, after all, it is her job to track potential patrons and threats, Circe elects to play nonchalant. Been lazy lately, asked Eddie to accept fewer cases for a while. That's a shame, thought you were one of the lucky few who actually got to enjoy your job. So did I. I take it you still enjoy yours? Most nights. Anyway, who said you're only allowed to break the ban when you've got shit to do? You could just show up here for fun. A couple years ago, Circe might have agreed with her. But now, messing with Lazarus and his ridiculous band just isn't as fun as it used to be. Maybe because I've been doing it for 6 years straight. Honestly, the bigger surprise is that I didn't get bored of it sooner. Should you really be encouraging me to break the rules? Probably not, but who's gonna tell? Nisha tips her head towards the bar. How about a drink before you share what brings you here? My treat. I'm good. You're turning down a free drink? I'm not thirsty. Nisha smiles like she doesn't believe her, and she would be right not to. The thirst is never fully satisfied. Fortunately, Nisha's a lot more respectful of boundaries than Circe's ever been, so she knows not to push it. You don't mind if I make myself one, do you? Be my guest. Nisha slips behind the counter, playfully hip-checking the bartender on service to make space for her. The bartender shakes their head at her with a smile. Nisha, trying to steal my job again? I'll work harder and I won't be able to. Who's this? Oh right, Jude. Meet Circe. Circe, this is... Actually, I don't think I care. But you just asked. You know what? Never mind. Jude looks more amused than offended. So, you're the one they call Circe. Weren't you banned, like, for forever? No one actually cares about that, except maybe Lazarus, depending on his mood. Then why do you continue to make it a pain in the ass for me every time I visit? It doesn't matter, you always find a way in, don't you? No thanks to you. Circe eyes Jude, who's watching their interaction with strange interest. You're new? Sort of. Jude, you said. Yeah. Like the song. Their skin can't flush, but they still do look bashful. Like the song. Circe's attention returns to Nisha. Why are there so many new faces? First the bouncer, and now this one. Jude isn't new. They've been here for quite a while now. Used to be a donor, actually. Circe doesn't bother hiding her surprise. Ooh. I'm sorry, that expression looks good on her as well. I think that's the first time we've seen that sprite. Lazarus actually changed one of them. No, not Lazarus, not directly at least. Just another vampire passing through town, lost control of his hunger, drank too much, you know how it goes. Lazarus made him change me. Nisha's frowning. But then she notices Circe watching her and fakes a smile. He saved their life, you know? He did, he really did. More like he ruined it. You wouldn't have been in that situation in the first place if Lazarus hadn't hired you. What happened to the one who made you? Nisha answers for them again. Oh, he's dead, like dead. Good riddance. I suppose congratulations are in order, Jude. You survived your fangling year. It was an interesting experience. Your first year after the change is never easy, but under the right guidance, it's manageable. Jude may not have had their maker by their side, but the Elysium vamps still look out for each other, as long as it's convenient. It's nice to meet you at last. Lazarus talks about you so much, like he is not over your relationship. I've always felt like I already knew you. Oh yeah? What has he been saying? Nothing nice. The other night, he went on a rant about you for hours. He was so drunk, too. Said that in almost 200 years of unlife, you're the worst he's ever met. He almost butt-dialed you, but we had to stop him. We had to, handcuff him to the bed. Lazarus needs to practice his insults, if that's the best he got. I'm disappointed. Oh, he said far worse, just didn't think it polite to repeat. That's just how he expresses his affection. He's a sentimental soul. I really love this expression too, the smug smile expression. Think that's enough shit stirring for one night, Jude. Back to work. Yes, ma'am. Jude spares Circe one last glance and a brief smile. And then it's only her and Nisha again. They're older than you, in mortal years. Like I said, nice kid. Nisha's eyes never leave the drink she's mixing, but Circe still feels watched. So, if you're not here to keep me company, why are you here? I'm looking for someone. You'll have to be a little more specific. Circe holds up the target's photo for Nisha to see. He's a Fangling. I don't know what they call him, but our client says he's been lurking around Elysium the last couple of nights. I'm hoping I'll find him here tonight as well. Nisha isn't even looking. Circe pushes. Recognize him? No one sets foot inside Elysium without Nisha knowing. Nisha knows Circe knows that, which is why they both know it's total bullshit when Nisha barely glances at the picture before she shrugs. Boys like that are to a penny in North Haven. What makes you think I would remember? Here we go. Unless you've got something to help, remind me. You only get greedier and greedier. Thankfully, greed is easy to work with. Circe slides a few pounds over the counter. Nisha is quick to tuck it away inside her pocket. Suddenly, she's got a bounty of information to share. They call him Seth, and your intel's not wrong. He's a Fangling, and a fairly fresh one too, maybe a couple weeks dead, give or take. He has no one. Whoever made him, they're no longer in the picture, which doesn't spell great odds for him in this world. He's only been here twice before, but he should be here tonight unless he's too scared. Why would he be scared? He's been on trial so far. If he wants to stay on the list, he needs to start paying. But without a job or someone to sponsor his undead life, well, let's just say his options for gathering enough money aren't exactly legal. Not that we care how he earns his keep, as long as it doesn't bring us any unwanted attention. Though, now that you're after him, I guess I can forget all about that. He definitely won't be able to pay after you're done with him. I'd say I'm sorry, but you're not. I know. Nisha strains her drink into a chilled martini glass. Can I ask what he did? I'm sure you already know. Why pretend you don't? Nisha sips her drink. Circe waits. If I let you do this, I don't need your permission. Nisha rolls her eyes. Fine, you're right. I know Seth's a little piece of shit and doesn't deserve to exist, but, you know, most of Elysium clientele, including yourself once upon a time, are all pieces of shit who should be dead. That doesn't mean you can just kill all of them. We won't have any more customers. I'm only allowing it this time because Seth isn't a regular piece of shit. He's a piece of shit whose body count is going to lead the pigs to our doors. And I really don't want to see Orion's holier-than-thou mug more than I absolutely have to. So whatever you're planning to do to Seth, spare me the gory details. The less I know, the better for both of us. Just go ahead. Just don't do it anywhere near Elysium. We have a zero-tolerance policy toward violence between vamps here, in case you forgot. How's that going for you, by the way? Just asking, since your zero-tolerance policy towards me is hardly being enforced. You're already banned. What are we supposed to do, ban you again? You could unban me if you're not going to put any real effort into keeping me out. Nisha attempts a wary smile, but ends up sighing instead. You act like it was my decision. Oh right, I almost forgot. No matter how much you like to pretend otherwise, you're still Laz's little minion. Fuck off, you don't even like it here, babe. Every time you come, all you do is complain. And you should know better than to take this personally. You dated him, you know what Lazarus is like. Love and hate, romance and violence, making love and fucking, it's all the same to that beautiful messed up mind of his. Another sip of her drink. For what it's worth, he really does miss you. Meanwhile, I couldn't be happier to get rid of him. Nisha sighs again, more amused than annoyed this time. Is it because your kind has too much time on their hands that you waste so much of it? I guess you'll find out on your own, assuming things go the way you want them. Nisha drops the grin. She wants to be one of them. She's never dared say it aloud, at least not to Circe, but it's obvious to anyone who pays enough attention. Now, personally, I would never wish the change upon anyone, not even my worst enemy. But every now and then, I'll meet someone who thrives in the night, someone who might as well have been born to be one of us. Nisha's exactly like that. But Circe will never change her, and unless Lazarus permits it, neither will any of the other vampires that hang around Elysium. Nisha's only chance is Lazarus. We'll see how that turns out for her. Speaking from experience, he loves to disappoint. Ooh, that was targeted. Back to the Fangling. Will you keep an eye out for him, please? Pretty please. Alright, alright. I'll even send him your way if I see him. In return, you'll make sure he's dealt with far from here. Deal? Sure. I'm serious, Circe, unless you want Lazarus to learn of our little partnership. Circe couldn't care less if Lazarus learns that Nisha's been working with her detective agency for years now. It's not her who's going to get in trouble, it'll be Nisha, his little right hand, who gave away the intel on his clients at his club. But it'd be inconvenient to lose our best informant. Also, Eddie would nag about it for nights. I'll be discreet, don't worry. That's all I ask. Not much time passes before one of Elysium's goons notifies Circe of the Fangling's arrival. Looks like Nisha's fulfilled her end of the bargain. Now it's Circe's turn. Moments later, Circe finds Seth loitering near the stage. She was right to assume he's changed since the photograph. He's at least a few years older, though still young enough to have just graduated university. He's shaved off the baby fat and grown a mediocre mustache, but the cheeky smile he shoots her way is identical to the one in the picture. For a split second, Circe hesitates. He still looks so young, so full of life, even in death. Then she remembers what he's done. She remembers the woman he's hurt. She remembers he deserves this. Hey. He's grinning from ear to ear, a little too brightly for someone who's supposed to be dead as she closes in. Well, hello there. What do they call you? Doesn't matter. You're welcome to call me whatever you want. Really? Typical of a Fangling, Seth is a slave to his own impulses. Perhaps he's merely deferring to her as an older vampire, or he simply can't help his excitement at a woman showing interest in him at first. Either way, she smiles, deciding there's no point in wasting time. Seduction has always come easiest for her. You should come somewhere with me, somewhere more private. Seth lunges at the opportunity without reservation. Sure, when? I can go anytime. Now? Where to? She hides her disgust between a well-timed giggle. Come with me. She slides a hand into his and guides the overly eager vamp through the crowd. Do you ever think Lazarus spots Circe at the club, flirting with these other guys who obviously Circe is going off to kill, and gets jealous about it? The bouncer who almost didn't let her in earlier still guards the entrance. He doesn't say anything when he sees them, simply watches as they disappear down the dark tunnel. When they get out of the tunnel, Circe leads Seth through the streets with a confidence, knowing exactly where to bring him. It's where I met Eddie for the first time, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, huh? I spared his life that night, but I ended so many lives there since to make up for it. Seth doesn't shut up once. I've never been with a vamp before. Is it better than sex with humans? Shouldn't we get some blood first? He enjoys the sound of his own voice too much. Not even once does he question her silence. Circe stops at the end of the dingy alleyway, far enough from Elysium to maintain her end of the deal. Seth looks around with a frown. You want to do this here? Wouldn't a nice girl like you prefer a hotel? Not a girl. Seth's jaw drops stupidly. You mean? I was referring to my age. Oh yeah, of course not. I'm sure you're experienced. Anyways, I'd invite you back to mine, but I don't have a place yet. I just rolled into North Haven the other night, still getting my shit sorted out, ha ha ha. She ignores him, letting him laugh nervously to remind herself while she looks around, checking there's no junkies or creeps hiding around the corner. Seems like it's just the two of us here. And he's back to being excited. Oh, you dirty girl, you've got a kink for doing it outside, yeah? You picked a great spot then, no way anyone will find us here. As long as we're on the same page. She lunges for him, grabbing him by the throat and shoving him up against the wall. Yeah, that's kind of hot. He doesn't need air to survive, but he's forgotten that in his panic. He gasps desperately, clawing at the hand wrapped around his neck. Circe stares into his eyes the entire time. She doesn't want to miss the moment the fight leaves him, the moment he realizes he doesn't stand a chance. She's older. She's stronger. She's going to kill him. She's going to fucking kill him. Please. She only notices he's crying when a stray tear hits her skin. Typical. When threats don't work, they always resort to begging. Please don't. Please, I don't know what I've done to piss you off, but... She can feel the joy seeping out of her as Seth's crying grows louder. She forgot how annoying it can be to kill fanglings. They're too sensitive. Whether it's pain or pleasure, they feel everything too strongly. That's why they don't last long without an older vampire to guide them in their first year. Leave them to their own antics, and they'll fuck like rabbits and die like cattle. Why are you doing this to me? Quit wailing, and I'll get to that part. It's a little hard not to wail when you're about to kill me, but sure, I'll be bloody quiet. She lifts her chin, daring him to speak another word. I'm waiting. Listen, I think we can both agree you've been stupid. Least you could have done is be more careful with where you take your meals, not eaten as many sheep from the same pen, then maybe no one would have noticed. But no, on top of that, you were childish enough to play with your food and leave evidence behind. She sees the exact moment her words start to seep into his dumb little brain. The games you like weren't very fun for your playmates, were they? This is probably her most attractive sprite yet. Like, this expression, I just really, really love it. Of course, you liked that they didn't like it. Didn't you? That's what this is about. They were fucking into it. And you talk like I've been touching them. I haven't. I never said that. I'm not sick. My mom taught me better. I see. So she warned you not to stick your dick where it's unwanted, but she forgot to tell you not to eat people? Don't bother denying it. You torture them, Seth. You snack on their flesh while they still breathe. So what if I like to steal a bite? Their blood's good enough to drink, but their flesh is too dirty for us? Every vampire's tried meat once. Yes, even you. I bloody know you have. And like I already told you, they fucking enjoyed it. Her fingers twitch, her grip on his throat threatening to tighten. Did they tell you that before or after you drained them and defiled them? I'd like to ask personally, but last I checked, the dead don't talk. Well, with the exception of us. Why does that even matter? Aren't we the same? Aren't we? Then you should know it isn't fair to judge me. We're fucking vampires, apex predators, top of the food chain. Who cares what happens to the cattle? God, can you get any more cliche? See, that's the problem with vampires like yourself. You have no regard for consequences. You think that just because you can, you should. Well, let me clue you in on a little secret. Interesting soundbite. She squeezes hard, strangling him. You shouldn't have. Release him. I was scared that this was gonna happen because they were taking so long in talking. Someone's come to save him. You have got to be kidding me. Release him, I will not repeat myself. There's only one vampire in this city who would dare order Circe around like that. Is it our ex? Oh no, it's not. Abraxas? This is your final warning. Miss Circe, I strongly recommend that you heed it. I heard you the first time, Abraxas, but I'm not one of your lapdogs. You should ask nicely if you want me to do something for you. As if playing nice with you has ever done anyone any good. How would you know? You've never tried. You're trying to distract me, but your efforts are in vain. Tonight, I have even less patience for your antics than usual. Seth is under the protection of the supernatural secrecy force. If you so much as harm a hair on his head, you will be in defiance of North Haven's supernatural law. Purely out of childish spite, she considers plucking a hair from Seth's head just to prove a point. It'll grow back in seconds after all. Release him. Let me handle him. Meh, it's not as if this would be my first crime. I've broken at least 2 laws just tonight. This is a serious matter. How serious? I cannot say much, just know that Seth is our only witness to an important investigation. I am? He is? In her surprise, Circe drops Seth on his behind. Seth scrambles to his feet, running to hide behind Abraxas' imposing form. It's hard to tell, but beneath that thick jacket, Abraxas is hiding almost 6 feet and 5 inches of lean muscle. If only he'd use all those muscles for something productive, like throwing me around in a bedroom. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on, Circe, hang on. But I digress. Normally, no self-respecting vampire would run into an SSF agent for help, but Seth either doesn't know that, or yeah, he definitely has no respect for himself. Follow me, one of my agents is waiting for us around the corner. Hey, where do you think you're going? I'm not done with you. Abraxas answers without a pause. I am. I'm not. I failed to see how that's my problem. Abraxas couldn't look more bored if he tried. It's infuriating how he always carries himself with perfect poise, even as his shoulders hang heavy with the guilt he thinks no one else can see. Thank you for not putting up too much of a fight this time, Miss Circe. I appreciate it when you're willing to collaborate. Unlike the rest of his good-for-nothing squad, Abraxas has never, not even once, flinched in the face of her wrath. But there's always a time for firsts. Collaborate? You want me to show you how I collaborate? This is one of the promo CGs for the game on the games page. She storms up to him. Even in heels, she has to glare up at him, but the height difference has never intimidated her. This is unnecessary. I could hear you perfectly fine where you stood. Go fuck yourself. Not even a flinch. Very mature. You are more than welcome to waste my time any other night, Miss Circe, just not this one. That sounds like a maybe. That doesn't sound like a no, Circe. He tries to sidestep her, but she follows, blocking his path. Don't pretend you're above this. You love arguing with me. That's why you're always in my business, messing with my work. His brows furrow. It's the only hint that her words have affected him in any way. I am not in your business. You're, in fact, in mine. Right, sure. That's why I stalked you here. Oh wait, that wasn't me. That was you. Oh please, I did not stalk you. Then how'd you find us? Coincidence. Coincidence? Seriously, that's the best you could think of? It isn't the first time you have brought prey to this alley. I was in the area looking for Seth and figured it would be worth a look. So yes, it is nothing more than a coincidence that I found you. He moves to pass her again, but she moves again to block him. Do you even know who you're protecting here? Do you know what this bastard does to his victims? He doesn't just drain them, he tortures them. He deserves worse than death. You're one to talk, you just try to kill me. Seth pushes out his chest, mimicking Abraxas' stance the best he can. You saw what she did. You saw everything, right, Captain? Quiet. But Seth only gets louder. You did. You saw how this she-devil threatened me. That's attempted murder. What are you waiting for? Do your job and arrest her. Circe doesn't rise to her own defense. There's no need because she sees Abraxas' response coming from a mile off. On what grounds? What? I just told you she tried to murder me. That isn't something that the SSF is concerned with. We cannot get involved every time there's a minor squabble between two supernaturals. But... Shut it. They trade a peeved glance at the unintentional coordination. After a stony stare, Abraxas is first to break the tense silence. You have no authority here, Miss Circe. Now go on your way, and I'll go on mine. The palm of his cold hand ghosts along the small of her back, gently pushing her aside. Then he grabs Seth by the elbow to drag him to the mouth of the alley. Circe follows right at their heels. What happens to him after you get what you need? We'll follow protocol and release him. But he's a criminal. Because he's predictable like that, Abraxas just offers her the usual spiel. The SSF is a counter-terrorism and intelligence agency. We investigate and neutralize supernatural threats for the greater good of society. We have neither the time nor the reason to chase down all the addicts, muggers, and vandals who haunt these streets. But... even if I wanted to do something, we have no case against him. I cannot abuse the law by detaining him without proof of a crime. My word is your proof. Have I ever lied to you before? Many times. But I'm not lying this time. You can believe me. Abraxas pauses, turning to look at her. She meets his assessing stare with confidence. If you have proof that this vampire has violated supernatural law, you should gather your evidence and report it to the Supernatural Crime Division. I'll put in a word with the inspector or whoever's on shift to make sure he's looked into as soon as possible. And if he is indeed guilty of the claims you make, I'll personally ensure that he gets what he deserves. Now, will you please step aside and let me do my job? She steps back, hiding her fangs between tightly pressed lips. Fine. She's not going to report shit. By the time they get through the backlog to his file, Seth will already have fled the city. She'll surrender him to SSF custody for now. There's no option, but as soon as he's out of their sight... Seth snickers under his breath. Serves you right, you stupid cut. 1 second Seth's taunting her. The next, he's curled up on the floor, clutching his broken nose as he cries out in pain. Oh, what was that for? It happened so fast she almost missed the look of uncharacteristic rage on Abraxas' face. Mind your tongue in the presence of a lady. Clearing his throat, he actually has the audacity to look sheepish when his eyes meet Circe's. We'll take a detour. The nose will heal before we reach the office. Hope your car crashes on the way. For a split second, she thinks she sees the ghost of a smile grace his lips. Great, now I'm hallucinating. Good night to you too, Miss Circe. He grabs the back of Seth's hoodie, effortlessly lifting him with one arm and carrying him out of the alley. She doesn't watch them leave. She's too pissed to spend another second here. Wait, she can turn into a bat, that's so sweet. When she's certain she's still alone, she transforms and flies into the night. Circe flies through an open window of her flat. She transforms just in time to land on her feet inside. Who the hell does he think he is? Okay, so my friend told me there would be lingerie sprites, but I didn't realize that they were like in the game already, in the demo. Okay. Don't ask me what the color of anything is, honestly. She stalks around the tiny space, tearing off her clothes while cursing Abraxas in every language known to mankind. She's never known anyone more frustrating. Honestly, I think they had a pretty nice rapport going on. They seemed mutually into whatever relationship they have now. She pulls to a stop in front of a mirror so she can adjust her underclothes and check her makeup. But her reflection makes her pause. Sometimes I wish the myths were true and vampires didn't have reflections. When she sees herself in the mirror, she can never resist picking her appearance apart. The red lips painted that color so her mouth would match her eyes. The black hair she frantically restyles with every change of the seasons. The body that stopped aging the year she turned 22, only a few days short of 23. She tries to carry herself to show that she's older than she looks, but staring herself down in the mirror, she can't help but feeling hopelessly young. In the near 100 years of her existence, she's reinvented herself dozens of times. So why do I still look so alike the girl that I used to be? I wish I could forget her, but every time I see myself, there she is. At least she's beautiful, a small mercy. I'm too old to mope around like this. Circe picks her clothes back up, slipping them back on. It's embarrassing, really, letting Abraxas shake her confidence like that. Shake her confidence? I thought they were both mutually flirting. She smirks. Back again, I see. She quiets her steps, sneaking around as she searches for the little intruder. Come out, wherever you are. She catches the culprit under a haphazardly discarded bra. Her neighbor's cat. Meow. How did you manage to escape your owner this time, She's not sure the sounds could actually make a difference. The cat just seems to really like her. Or why else would you sneak in here all the time? She picks the cat up, cradling her in her arms, and presses a kiss to her head. Poor Mrs. Harris has to be worried sick about you. Wait here, I'll have Eddie take you home. I'll take that as a yes, ma'am. Good kitty. Downstairs, she finds Edgar hunched over his desk, nose buried in a mountain of paperwork. He's grown up into a fine young man. He looks a lot better and more like self-assured and put together than last time. 20 years? Yeah, that'll make a difference. When Eddie's working, he might as well be dead to the rest of the world. The only sign he's an actual living person and not an eerily realistic statue is when his hand moves to scratch at his 5 o'clock shadow. Sometimes it's all too easy to forget Edgar isn't the same boy I met 20 years ago. Edgar is the only human companion she's ever had. She knows their relationship isn't conventional. Vampires don't keep the company of humans they aren't feeding on or sleeping with or planning to change. But Edgar isn't a blood bag or a quick fuck or a toy to her. He's a friend. Perhaps her only friend in this world. When we first met, we looked the same age. Perhaps that's why it feels so strange to watch him grow while I don't. Growing old suits him. When he used to be cute, now he's handsome. Yeah, I think it's like some kind of glitch or bug with the game where every single time I go to save, it very nearly crashes the game. And I don't think it's my computer because everything else is working fine. We're gonna scare him, definitely not the latter option. Blah, give me all your blood. What? In his surprise, the back of Edgar's hand knocks over his coffee mug. Oops. Her quick reflexes let her catch it before any coffee spills. Knowing Edgar, he'd lose it if anything stains his precious documents. Edgar wipes the sweat from his brow, breathing out a faint sigh. That was close. As soon as his immediate relief is over, he scowls. You're a little old for peekaboo, don't you think? I'm a little too old for most things. If I let my age stop me, I would have a very boring eternity ahead. She sits down at the edge of his desk. You'll never guess what happened again tonight. Abraxas messed up the job, didn't he? She was talking about Ellie, but being reminded of Abraxas sours her mood. How'd you know? Heard you cursing up a storm upstairs. Ah, right, thin floors. Edgar doesn't ask for details, well aware Circe will supply them regardless. It never takes much for her to go off on another day of her rants about Abraxas and the supernatural secrecy force. They've been a thorn in their operations since the very start. Separate from the Supernatural Crime Division, the SSF are an intelligence agency specializing in so-called counter-terrorism. Bluntly speaking, they've been ordered to do whatever it takes to ensure that the existence of supernaturals remains a secret from the larger world. They spy and manipulate the narrative behind the scenes, only stepping forward when an incident grows big enough that it threatens exposure. On occasion, they will even directly eliminate assumed threats. The SSF higher-ups are all mortals, but they send supernaturals like Abraxas to do the dirty fieldwork for them. Many would insist that the SSF are a necessary evil, but everyone still thinks supernaturals who join up are sellouts. Innocence, or guilt, matters little to the SSF. Their job is, quite literally, to brush things under the rug, usually at the expense of non-humans. Cities that have experienced a rise of vampires don't let the SSF anywhere near if they can help it. But in places like North Haven, it's hard to get all the different non-humans to agree on anything other than not wanting humans to discover us. I'm not surprised they intervened again, but I am surprised they haven't shut Thorn investigations down yet, given our egregious list of violations. I don't like Abraxas any more than you do, but I have to give it to him. His patience with you has been, impressive. Careful, that almost sounds like a compliment. But Edgar's not wrong. Circe should be a major liability in the SSF's books. She's bent or outright broken their rules plenty of times, yet Abraxas doesn't report half the stuff she gets up to. Because of that, he now seems to believe she owes him some kind of favor. As if I ever asked for his help. You know what? Maybe he fancies you. That little smile of his, I bet it's like watching your friend flirt with another one of their friends for like years and years, and you know that they kind of like each other, but it doesn't really go anywhere because they're both really prideful. Kinda cute. My colossal ego is inclined to agree, but I don't think that's it. Besides, he's married. Sorry, what? But his wife passed away ages ago. And yet, even after all this time, he still hasn't taken off his wedding ring. Complex situation. I like that the character dynamics have like a little bit of complexity to them. That makes it more interesting. About 15 years ago, when they'd spoken face to face for the first time, it'd been one of the first things she noticed about him. At the time, she'd been disappointed, assuming his wife was still alive. She'd done a lot of awful things without guilt, but sleeping with married men was something she liked to avoid. In hindsight, she recognizes she dodged a bullet, even if only barely. It's a long time ago, I suppose. Edgar scratches his nose bridge, giving away how nervous he is. It never fails to amuse her how easy he is to read. Well, that's quite sad, isn't it? He must have loved her very much. Must be painful missing someone that long. I guess. Circe knows far too well what it feels like to mourn someone you'll never hold again. Doesn't have to mean you love them. But Edgar wouldn't be thinking about her experience in this moment. He must be thinking about his sister. On to more fun matters. Remember what day it is today? With everything going on tonight, she'd nearly forgotten herself, so she can't say she blames him when Edgar pulls a face that says he definitely doesn't remember. Of course I remember, it's February. 19? 21? First of all, it's March. Is it really? Can never tell when it's raining all year round anyways. Oh fine, I'll tell you. It's our anniversary. Our what? It's been 20 years since the night we first met. Oh. I don't know about you, but I'm surprised we made it this long. Now that we can agree on, wasn't one of us supposed to kill the other by now? He says it lightly, but he's half serious. One of them should be dead by now. Edgar lights a cigarette, barely hiding a grin when he shoves it between his lips. Circe smirks back at him. This kind of banter has long been part of their daily routine. She provokes him. He retorts back with some snark. They laugh or roll their eyes, then rinse and repeat. It has taken a while to get here, of course. When they first met, Edgar was so angry with the world, he took everything as an insult. He's mellowed out over the years, gotten better at reserving his anger for when it's actually warranted. Most of the time. I should let our client know we didn't get the fangling. Blech. It's annoying, but they don't have any other option. Their anonymous client was clear in their instructions. Seth must die tonight, or else no reward. With Seth in the SSF's custody, there's no way they can get to him before the sun's up. I bet their anonymous client was the perpetrator of the crime that Abraxas took him in for witnessing. I just realized we'll have to return the deposit, won't we? It's the right thing to do. Can we afford to do that? Per your request, we've taken fewer jobs as of late, so we're stretched even thinner than usual. If we want to feel more secure about keeping the lights on, you could take a few more cases. Or spend less on clothes. Just an option. Why would I do either of those things when you're always working so hard to make sure we're a month ahead on rent? I've only got so much hair, Circe. And I've only got so many dresses. Edgar heaves a sigh. Thought you'd say that. I'll take it out of my own pay then. She nods, pleased with his quick thinking. Anyway, that can all wait until tomorrow. Let's go to the Golden Cat and celebrate our 20th. You don't need to use our anniversary as an excuse. We go there every night. But tonight will be special. Drinks on me. Well, technically, it's our rapidly depleting business funds that we'll be paying, but the sentiment stands. You sure know how to spoil a bat. So that's a yes? Yes. Alright, just let me fetch my coat. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something important? They share a knowing look. I only know one person who knocks like that. You take it. But I'll always answer the door. Only because you're so good at it. Edgar puts out his cig and walks over to the door, opening it to reveal... Edgar, Circe, thank goodness you're still here. Miss Harris, their next-door neighbor, rushes inside. She's a kind old woman who thankfully never complains about the suspicious people going in and out of Thorne investigations at all hours. Helps that her eyesight isn't what it used to be. The same goes for her hearing, actually. Oh, I'm so sorry to have bothered you. I know how busy you are doing your detective work, saving the day and all that, but I can't find my baby anywhere. Her baby being her cat, Ellie. I feel awful bringing this to you at this hour, but would you mind having a look for her? I couldn't sleep knowing she's somewhere out there cold and alone and lost. Shivering to her death, my poor baby. Her wailing's loud enough to wake the entire building. Edgar starts to sweat. Edgar doesn't look like he's in the mood to go on a cat hunt. Luckily for him, they won't have to. Good news, we've already found her. Her bawling immediately stops. You did? Yes, she's upstairs. She is? Edgar guides Miss Harris to the sofa. She sinks into it with relief. Oh, how lucky I am to have the city's finest detectives as my neighbors. It's not that hard to find someone who's been hiding inside your own home. Circe retrieves Ellie from upstairs, hesitantly returning her to her owner. Edgar watches the exchange with amusement. He's been nagging for ages that she should just stroll down to the shelter and pick up a cat of her own. Sadly, I lack the confidence to keep something living alive. Oh, thank you so much, thank you. Miss Harris hugs her cat to her chest. Ellie lets out a not-so-pleased meow. You've saved my baby again. How can I ever repay you two? It's nothing. We're happy to help you anytime, free of charge. Nonsense. I'll bake you biscuits and bring them over tomorrow. Knowing she wouldn't even be able to eat them and no good could come from having Mrs. Harris lurking around unless necessary, Circe tries to tell her, there's really no need. We'd love that. Thank you so much. Seriously? Edgar looks offended. I'm always serious about dessert. Very good, Mr. Thorne. It is important for growing boys to eat plenty. Good joke. The only thing Edgar's growing is a pitiful beard. Edgar rubs his jaw. And for that, you need plenty of calories. Sure. Circe gently gets Mrs. Harris up out of her chair and guides her to the door. Whole way there, Mrs. Harris rambles about what she's going to bake tomorrow. Circe almost has to shove her out the door. When it's finally shut behind her, Circe turns to glare at Edgar. What? It would be foolish of me to turn down free food. Anyway, with Miss Harris gone, there's only one thing left to do. Drinks. The Golden Cat is almost the polar opposite of Elysium. All supernaturals and even a few humans who are in the know come here. As long as you keep your fangs, claws, wands, and whatever you've got to yourself, you're welcome to pop in for a drink. Entering the pub, Circe's eyes immediately hone in on one guest in particular. Oh look, it's your little friend. That is a love interest for the other protagonist, so the male character, Dante. Raoul, a local cop with muscles that aren't just for show, he's seated near the bar, nursing a beer in one hand. Don't call him that. When you phrase it like that, it makes it sound indecent. But he is your friend. Last I checked, your only friend. I have other friends. There's Richard, back in my hometown, though I haven't spoken to the Pratt in some time, or even thought about him in a while. And there's you. We're friends, aren't we? He's a little embarrassed. Oh, of course. Embarrassed by how much his words mean to her, Circe's quick to change the subject. Thankfully, Edgar doesn't seem to mind, looking more than a little flustered himself. By the way, Raoul's, gay, right? What makes you say that? He's never responded to any of my flirting. Perhaps he's just not into you. I love his, little evil smirk expression. No, he's definitely gay. Everyone's into me. She only flirts with Raoul to mess with Edgar, but it still surprises her Edgar hasn't noticed his friends not into women. Is he really so oblivious, or is Raoul just that private? Maybe it's easier for her to tell because she also enjoys the company of her own sex. Wait, you've been flirting with him? That's what he was mulling over? They walk up to Raoul. Edgar greets him first. Evening, Raoul. Did you get off work early tonight? Edgar and Raoul have an interesting friendship, if you can call it that. They meet up every few weeks, but it's never a planned thing. They'll just sit next to each other and chat over a few drinks, bonding over being humans in the world of supernaturals or whatever. Oh, hello Edgar. Unfortunately, I'm still technically on the clock. Good to see you as well, Circe. Have you been well? Raoul nods to Circe, acknowledging her too. He's smiling, but she can't tell if it's out of politeness or if he's genuinely happy to see them. Sure. But what about you? Are you here on official business? Anything we should look out for? Well, she takes a look around. Where's your pup, by the way? Rare to see you without him. Barely a moment after he's mentioned, Circe watches Dante, Raoul's police partner, step into the bar. I actually kind of like that we get to see the other protagonist in the world as well. It makes it feel kind of more fleshed out. Speak of the devil, or werewolf, I guess, if we're being technical. Dante looks a little out of sorts, hair sticking up even more than usual. He notices them immediately, but doesn't even spare them as much of a grunt of acknowledgement. Rubbing his arms, he instead stops at the other side of the bar to order a beer. I've always thought of him as a loose cannon waiting to burst, but he looks especially on edge tonight. Something's rattled him. Then again, Dante's never behaved the way you would expect an officer to. Perhaps that's why I mind him less. They should do a secret route where you can romance Dante. Is he avoiding us? I think he can hear you. Yes, that was the point. She raises her voice. Perfect timing, Dante. We were just talking about you. What? No, we weren't. You do realize when you say it like that, you only sound more suspicious. Circe. Raoul rests his chin on his palm, watching the scene with a little too much amusement for her liking. For some reason, Dante seriously freaks Edgar out. Now this shouldn't be surprising because Edgar has always been easily scared as long as Circe's known him. However, he's especially intimidated by Dante. To his defense, Dante looks like he'd punch out your lights if you looked at him the wrong way on the wrong day. But you'd have to be pretty stupid to try something on Eddie while I'm around. In the meantime, Dante has picked up his beer and walked over. He offers a nonchalant wave with his free hand, which is probably as good of a greeting as they'll get from him. Did you forget to brush your hair this morning, or did you run into trouble on your way here? If anyone's picking on you, you can always let me know. I don't like animal abuse. I just ran into Abraxas. Seen him recently? Being reminded of Abraxas' existence again sets a frown on her face. Not really. When Dante smirks, Circe knows he's gotten exactly what he's wanted by bringing up Abraxas. Whatever these characters have going on against each other, it's always so funny. I heard he and his agents were snooping around that museum that exploded, interviewing potential witnesses. A museum. An explosion. Could that be related to why Abraxas needed Seth? Guess they'll be wandering all around the city till that's sorted out, keeping an eye on things. Ugh. If you haven't run into him yet, I'm sure you will. A lot. His smugness shifts to curiosity. Heard anything about that, though? Not sure what you're asking me for. I don't have a clue what they're up to there, and speaking from experience, it's best if it stays that way. Actually, why do you even care? Aren't the SSF and the police supposed to stay out of each other's business as much as they can? Unless it's related to whatever the two of you are working on, Raoul wouldn't tell us anything, but maybe you will? You didn't give me the chance to say anything. As if you would have told me the truth if I did. She could have forced him to. If she really wanted to, she could use compulsion on either of them right now, and there wouldn't be much they could do about it. Dante's trickier because he's about as stubborn as one gets, but Raoul is only human. She wouldn't, though, not because she's squeamish about compelling either of them, she's just not curious enough. Still, if Dante will tell her anything, she'll take it. Well, since you asked so nicely, no. You suck. I don't. That's your job. Edgar, itching to get away from Dante, interrupts us. Okay, well, you two look busy and we're in desperate need of a drink. We'll leave you to it. But come on, Circe, you've bothered them enough for tonight. How dare you? I am perfectly lovely and pleasant to be around. Raoul waves to Edgar. Good to see you again, Edgar. Yeah, cheers. Edgar takes her arm and she begrudgingly lets him pull her to another corner of the bar. They nab their usual seats close to the bartender. When they drink a lot, so it's good to have easy access. In order to maintain some level of dignity, we've agreed to never discuss exactly how much of our income goes into the Golden Cat. The bartender is swift. In a minute they have their usuals in front of them, some cocktail for Edgar and a totally non-conspicuous glass of red wine for Circe. So, when are we going to address the elephant in the room? Edgar sips his cocktail, raising a brow at Circe's question. I'm talking about your addiction to sugar. Should be criminal to even call that a drink. It's about 1% alcohol and 199% sugar. Not quite sure those numbers add up. Besides, what right do you have to judge anyone's choice of drink when you order the same thing every night? Why waste money on alcohol when it spoils the taste of what I really want? I thought alcohol enhanced the taste of blood. Actually, I can't believe I've never asked you that before. She knows exactly why he hasn't asked. With each year that passes, Edgar grows more determined to avoid acknowledging what she really is. Depends on the vamp, but nothing will ever beat drinking it fresh from the tap. And have you started doing that again? She doesn't miss the regret in his eyes before he overts them. Still, she can't help the irritation she feels at what he's insinuating. Not since I ended things with Lazarus, you know that. Right. But you think that's a lie. I didn't say that. Even if I were doing it, I'm not like that fangling I met tonight. I have self-control. I'm fully capable of making my own decisions. I don't drink from people who don't want me to, and I certainly don't drain people, so you can stop looking at me like I bit your pasty ass. Edgar's face falls in his hands, but his trembling shoulders do little to conceal his laughter. It's not funny, I'm annoyed with you. I know, I'm sorry. So, sorry I'm annoyed. Sorry you said it in the first place. Both? She's grinning now, too. Then why the laughter? Why'd you have to call me pasty? You know I've been trying really hard to build a tan. You should give up on that. You're only adding to that constellation of freckles on your face. I thought you liked my freckles. I said that? Well, I must have been lying, since I'm apparently lying about everything these days. He grimaces. Seems he thought she was going to let that one get swept under the rug. I'm sorry, Circe. I didn't mean to accuse you. I know you're not like that. I know you wouldn't. It's just hard to forget the shit I've seen, the things I know you're capable of if you weren't held back by your own morals. It always comes back to this, huh? Edgar only likes the Circe who stands up against her own kind and looks out for the weak, not the Circe who lures strangers into her bed and sucks their blood. I don't know how to tell him that I'm both, so I don't. Nothing's holding me back. You make it sound like I'm forced to do this, but I choose to. It's not an easy choice. She's been like that fangling, she's been worse, and it was fun. But she doesn't want to know how Edgar will look at her if she confesses that to him. I understand. Except he doesn't. Therein lies the problem. Edgar clears his throat and puts on a smile that trembles at the corners. We're here to celebrate. We should be talking about happier things, shouldn't we? Courtesy of decades of practice, the smile she puts on herself is a lot more convincing. Right. Like your girly choice of drink. We're still on that? Hey, aside from the increased risk of diabetes, I find it cute that you have a sweet tooth. At 44 years old, being described as cute is no longer very flattering, but shh, wait a second. He presses a finger to his lips, then motions to the radio playing on the counter. The news is on. Local authorities have stated a gas leak caused the explosion at Beaumont Museum last night. Beaumont Museum, that's where Dante said the SSF were digging around, right? The museum's doors will remain closed till the public till repairs on the private wing are complete. Blah blah blah. Among other things, the body of a 23-year-old Jane Stewart was found last night. Earlier this month, Miss Stewart was reported missing. My God, has human news always been this boring? It's always just the same thing. Someone was robbed, someone was murdered, someone was kidnapped. At least there's an explosion involved this time, but what's the aftermath? The next day, there's something else. Not anything worse, but not anything better either. You don't have to listen to the news to know how terrible the world can be. Just step outside. That's all there is to it. Ever been? Edgar and Circe looks up at the bartender. What, to Beaumont Museum? Yeah, it's owned by one of the greatest wizards of our time. Renaud Beaumont. Never heard of him. What makes him so great? Many things. For starters, Circe doesn't bother to listen, focused on twirling her drink in her glass, but Edgar nods along, genuinely interested for whatever reason. Anyway, he has to be ancient now. He retired from the public eye ages ago. If he's even still alive, it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't know what happened to his family's museum. Maybe we should set it on fire again and make sure he gets the memo this time. You wouldn't actually, would you? Want to find out? You have an annoying habit of doing the opposite of what I asked you, so no comment. The bartender leaves to serve another customer. Edgar starts patting his pockets. Bollocks, I'm all out. Don't hold yourself back on my account. The corner shop should still be open. Sure you don't mind me leaving you alone? He's already climbed his feet. I think I'll live, or at least not die. Again. I'll be back in no time. And he's gone. Sugar, coffee, cigs. Humans sure do have a lot of stupid vices. She stares down at her drink. Not that mine are any better. She sips slowly, letting her eyes roam the room. She's not sure where the compulsion comes from. It's not as if she'll discover anything new. It's just the same faces always. Or... wait. She is definitely new. Yeah, that's her final love interest for Circe's route. Circe meets eyes with a woman at the far side of the pub. Beauty is no stranger to Circe. She's seen it in many faces, many bodies, even a few hearts. But this woman isn't just beautiful. She's... The woman smiles. Oh yeah, no question, we gotta smile back. Circe returns the smile, but looks back down at her drink just as quickly. Not looking to hook up with anyone tonight. Although, that's a bit presumptuous of her. Maybe the woman was just being nice. Not really looking for anything nice, either. Wait. Circe's head snaps up, but the woman is already gone, nowhere to be seen. Only in her absence does Circe realize she couldn't detect what the woman was. The music that's playing over the introduction of that final character is very slightly ominous. I'm getting rogue vibes from them, like D&D class rogue. I mean, yes, absolutely we want her. Absolutely we want to speak to her, nothing else. It makes no sense, but I want to see her again. I want to know her. I want her. Not her blood, not her body, not her heart. Circe wants the mystery she offers. It's exactly what she's been looking for. A mystery time-consuming enough to end the perpetual boredom eating away at her. Like, our emotional support dog leaves us for 5 seconds and we've already picked out a new toxic situationship target. Oh, Circe. Preoccupied by her thoughts, Circe barely notices Edgar's return. He slips off his jacket, slides back into his seat, and gestures for another round of drinks from the bartender. What took you so long? Ran into some trouble. Don't be stingy with the details. What kind of trouble? He lights his cig, angling his body toward her. Their knees brush, but neither move away, used to the lack of personal space. Well... no, never mind. Are you blushing? My God, you are. Not on purpose. Unfortunately, I don't think it's me having this effect on you, so it must be something else. Edgar twists and squirms in his seat. Or someone else? Was us out on a date? He spits the words out so fast, Circe might have missed them if not for her supernatural hearing. You're messing with me. I wish I was. This is stressing me out. Wait, you said yes? What? Obviously I said no. Why would it be obvious? Was something wrong with her? No, she was pretty and nice and smelled good. Too many details now. Sorry, I just thought she had a nice perfume. You'd like it, actually. You're only making it weirder. I said no because it never would have worked. She's, human. As are you? But I don't live like one, you know? Excuses. Think about it for a second. I run a supernatural detective agency. How do I explain that to someone outside this business? Not to mention, I'm up all night, asleep most of the day. Not sane. I mean, no sane, normal person would want to be with someone like me. Oh, come on. So what if she doesn't fit into your normal schedule? You make time when you're in love. Love? God, I definitely don't have time for that. Not when there's clients to be managed, bills to be paid, and... You don't have to work all the time, Eddie. You could take one night off of drinking to get laid. Shh, what if someone hears you? Oh, come on, you're a grown man. You can't possibly still be embarrassed by the word sex. I'm not, but we're in public. I love that she does have like a little bit of an immature side. Jesus Christ. Breeding, mating, copulating, fornicating, and what is it you Brits say, shagging? Circe's cackling like a madwoman while Edgar hisses under his breath. Circe, I am begging you to stop. Edgar looks around, ready to explode from embarrassment, anxiously glancing around to make sure no one's heard her. Circe doesn't have the heart to remind him that they're at a bar for supernaturals. Almost everyone's guaranteed to have overheard. Anyway, wouldn't it be nice to be with someone, even if it's only for the night? Edgar laughs, shaking his head, more to himself than in response to her words. Somehow, I prefer to be here. Oh, with me, with little old me. I wouldn't necessarily consider your presence to be an advantage, but yes, I prefer to be here with you. Circe brings her glass to her lips, hiding her smile behind it. It's a good thing he said no. It's a shame he said no. Okay, well fine, we can just spin it like I'm glad he's spending time with us tonight. It's selfish, but Circe's pleased he rejected the stranger. I'd be jealous if he suddenly had less time for us. I mean, she probably would be jealous. Their relationship isn't romantic, so it's not like he'd be cheating on her, but she likes their routine. It's the only stable routine she's ever had, and she doesn't want that to change. Okay, good, we're on the same page, Circe. Besides, he's got a point. It's not like he could still work with her and lead a normal life. That's just not how it works. Of course, there are people like Raoul and Dante's superior Orion who have human families and try to live as normally as possible. But Orion's an anomaly, and with time, vampires like him learn the hard way that rejecting your nature never works in the long run. Edgar's different. He could pack his bags, move cities, and go back to living a normal human life whenever he wants. As long as he remains here, though, he'll never be able to pull the wool back over his eyes. Unfortunately, Circe, you might be stuck with him. Like, humans do value their relationships, especially ones that they've had for 20 years. Edgar taps out his cig in the nearest ashtray. Enough about that. Did I miss anything around here? No. For some reason, it doesn't feel right to mention the mysterious woman. Maybe because she knows how Edgar worries, and she doesn't want him to start. The bartender slides their new drinks toward them. They clink glasses. To 20 years of this hellish profession. And to 20 more. I actually really like that scene. In the end, Edgar has one too many drinks. He leans on Circe the entire walk back to his flat. I wonder if vampires and supernaturals have supernatural strength as well as hearing. She stops when they reach his building. He's never invited her upstairs before, and she doubts it'll be any different tonight. Will you make it upstairs on your own? Why wouldn't I? He pushes off her and stumbles up the stairs to the entrance. He almost falls over several times, but by some miracle he manages to reach the door without breaking any bones. I was under the false impression that they lived together. This is like a little nicer. They have a little bit of their own space. See, he hiccups. I'm perfectly fine. Right. See you tomorrow night. He waves her goodbye. She waves back. Good night. She waits until he's safely inside the building. Chances are low he'll die on his way up the lift, so Circe begins to stroll back to her own flat. She walks at a leisurely pace, like the threat of the rising sun won't be upon her at any moment now. Like her slow pace might delay the inevitable day. Circe strips down to her underwear. Her one-bedroom flat has no bed, only a sofa, so that's where she lies down. I guess they don't need to sleep, right? We could get like a pretty cool coffin though, you know, for the aesthetics. Outside, the sun slowly rises, and the world Circe will never get to be a part of again wakes up. She stares up at the ceiling, trying not to think about the growing resentment she feels every single time she has to hide away from the sun. Hear me out, hear me out. What if we get like a full body scuba suit or some kind of covering from head to toe, and then we go out with an umbrella? Surely we could go out like that, right? I didn't always hate daytime. When her common sense returned after her fangling year, Circe had found that the day offered endless opportunities for self-improvement. She read novels, she meditated, she brushed up on her history, learned martial arts, studied different languages, read some more, slept with all kinds of people, men, women, people who didn't really identify as either. Half of the time, she didn't even feed on them. She just liked to cuddle in bed afterwards, basking in their heat. When films became a thing, she found herself obsessed with cinema, lived hundreds of different lives through the stories of others. Oh, she is old when films became a thing, huh? But like everything else, it got dull, hiding herself in escapism to distract herself from her own thoughts. Lately, she can't be bothered to do much of anything anymore. Is this truly all there is to eternity, an endless cycle of wanting and no longer wanting, forever falling in and out of love with what once meant the world to you? If she shuts her eyes, if she pretends hard enough, she can almost imagine she's dreaming. Where do her dreams bring her today? I guess we'll first think about the mystery woman. Circe's obsession with her seems very Spitfire-ish. I'm wondering if it's going to be kind of a relationship with a lot of drama that like starts abruptly and ends really abruptly, whereas her relationship with the other people in her life seem a little bit more stable. I can't tell what she is. I wonder if she's like some kind of siren, something like that. Or one of my favorite supernatural creatures is like any form of cognito hazard, like any sort of eldritch thing, any sort of thing that can manipulate the brain. I'm here for it. Her hair does kind of look like tentacles as well, but maybe I'm just projecting. More importantly, what was she? Every person has a distinct aura. Some call it life force, some call it the soul. Whatever you'd like to call it, everyone has it. Not everyone can detect it, but Circe's trained to ensure she never misses it. So the fact that she'd missed this one, it unsettles her. It unsettles her very much. Ugh. Just picturing that self-righteous face of his irritates her. Nope. Not even worth thinking about for a second. Eddie's fun when he's drunk. Though most of their nights might end at the Golden Cat, Edgar rarely drinks enough to get wasted. His love of tobacco might send him to an early grave, but at least alcohol poisoning won't. A small comfort. She continues to dream. She tries her best to fight against the current of her thoughts, but they always lead back to him. Oh, don't think about him. Against her will, Circe remembers him. Long grief for a vampire must be genuinely awful, because long grief for humans, that's already like, more than half your life potentially. For a vampire, that's more than several lifetimes. Open your eyes. Look into my eyes. See yourself as you truly are, as you were always meant to be. I'm afraid. For us, fear is a choice. When she opens her eyes and looks into his, she doesn't see herself. She sees him. And only him. Beautiful, he whispers, reverent. I will never make anything as beautiful as you again. But sire, you did not make me. I did. His spindly fingers caress her skin with such tenderness, she foolishly mistakes it for fondness. I delivered you from death. I rendered you invulnerable to the horrors of time. I captured you in the moment you were the most beautiful you would ever be. Beautiful forever. She holds the monster's stare. My eternal companion forever. And the concept that even if the relationship you have with someone isn't the best for you, it can still haunt you because it can still shape you and impact the person you become in the future. So good. The sun has set again, but Circe only snaps out of her daydreams when she hears the balcony door open. She doesn't have to get up to guess who's broken into her flat. She'd recognize those steps anywhere. What? We hate each other, my ass. What do you mean he breaks into her flat when she's only wearing lingerie? Excuse me? You better have a good reason for this, Abraxas. She stands up to glare at him. His gaze lingers on her lack of attire for no longer than what was polite. I apologized for the impromptu visit, but it could not wait. I mean, yes, 3, but Circe made it sound like this kind of thing happens all the time. I guess we're gonna taunt him. Oh, does it upset you that you can only look and never touch? Why can he never touch? I will never understand what amusement you gain from playing these games. Oh, and now you're shaming my sexual appetites inside my own home? Tisk tisk. Why is he taking off his clothes? Sorry, this is moving so fast. Disappointingly enough, Abraxas doesn't rise to the rather obvious bait. He slips off his jacket, hanging it over the arm of her sofa. There, I took off one item of clothing. You put one back on. Okay, can we put on his jacket? Preferably a shirt. She slips on a single sock. If you want me to put on my other sock, take off your shirt. Sorry, their relationship is so good. I think this is my favorite love interest so far. Have you always been such a brat? Probably. May God have mercy on the poor soul who raised you. As a vamp, shouldn't you know better than to enter a stranger's home without invitation? Ooh, that instantly made her mood sour. We are not strangers. We are not friends either. Acquaintances. Are you seriously trying to negotiate our level of familiarity? He eyes the balcony he just snuck through. I didn't mean to cause you any distress, but I had to make sure no one would know I was here. And you felt that creeping in through the balcony was the most discreet way to accomplish that? I was not creeping. Really? His eyes sweep down her body again. He clears his throat and pretends to be distracted by the posters lining her wall. I believe this is my first time seeing your flat. Do you watch a lot of films? Explain why you broke into my damn flat. Snuck in. Don't be childish. It is not cute when you're like 200 years old. It is about the case that Seth was witness to. Did you release him already? Of course, we had no reason to hold him after questioning. No reason? I gave you a reason. Yes, I put in a word with the SCD to look into him sooner rather than later. They mentioned that they hadn't received any reports from you, however. Oops. I did not come here to talk about Seth. I need a favor. Will you do it? The request surprises her. She studies his face, waiting for the punchline. Well, will you? I can't believe my ears. The great Abraxas is asking for my help, really. Do not make me repeat myself. It was difficult enough the first time. Even if she finds it hard to believe, Abraxas is definitely telling the truth. He barely even relies on his own agents, so for him to come to her, of all people, for help, it means he needs something badly enough to swallow his pride. I never expected to see the night. She's already set on not doing it, because why would she, in her right mind, ever help Abraxas? But that doesn't mean she's not curious. You're going to have to share more details before I decide. Have you heard of the incident at the Beaumont Museum? In passing. This must never become public knowledge, but the gas leak was a cover-up coordinated by us at the SSF. Wow. Who could have ever imagined? Magic triggered the explosion. The burst of energy was so powerful that, should our culprit have wished, they could have destroyed far more than a single wing. At worst, I fear they might even have been able to burn down half of North Haven. My agents and I have determined it cannot have been a mere incident. This was an intentional attack. I see. Unfortunately, it gets worse. The wing that was destroyed harbored several magical artifacts, one of which is now missing. You should be grateful then. They could have stolen all of them. I sent my team to clean up the scene and deal with any witnesses. That was when they found the initials JM sprayed on the wall. Whoever or whatever this JM is, it is our only lead. Couldn't you trace the magic from the explosion? Circe knows for a fact that the SSF North Haven branch has a very talented witch in their ranks. She even happens to be Abraxas' second in command. We suspect it was caused by the artifact itself, which didn't leave any residue from the user behind. Okay, but why do you want me involved? The SSF regularly collaborates with the supernatural police, but that's it. They've never worked with Thorn investigations. And while Circe's not opposed to a challenge, she's no witch hunter. She knows vampires, she knows werewolves, she knows demons, but messing with the wrong wizard can have deadly consequences. It's common sense not to get involved in their affairs. I think the final love interest must be a wizard or something, maybe even the phantom thief that took the artifact. We were going to launch a full investigation into JM when we were explicitly told by people higher up on the ladder to drop the case. Apparently, an outsider is being sent from elsewhere to continue the investigation. I take it that's unusual. Not necessarily. There have been cases where we've collaborated with external parties, but the keyword there is collaboration. Never in all the time I have worked for the SSF have I been locked out of a case in this manner. Oh, come on. You've lived long enough to know there's a first for everything. I know. Still, I am suspicious of their intentions. I have no real reason to be, no actual evidence, nothing to work with but a presentiment. But I cannot shake the feeling that something is wrong. You said an artifact was stolen. What exactly was it? If I knew, I would have told you. I doubt that. I mean it. I know no more beyond the little I have already shared with you. Which is like nothing. It was hidden in plain sight inside the Reynold Beaumont's private collection. We had planned to contact him about it before we were ordered to drop the case. So all we know is that it can make stuff go boom. Not the exact words I would use, but essentially, yes. Who's to say that power didn't come from the person wielding the artifact? Abraxas firmly shakes his head, like he's already ruled that option out. There are wizards and witches capable of things our minds cannot imagine, but it would be suicide to release a burst of energy that large without assistance. When magic's involved, nothing's impossible. I suppose. Still, I would say it's too unlikely to be worth consideration. Seth was the only witness? The only witness who might have seen anything of note at all, at least. We've interviewed all the others and learned nothing. Who might have? I thought you brought him in for questioning. We did, however we were told to drop the case before we could ask him anything worthwhile. Once again, the SSF proved to be embarrassingly incapable. Not our finest work, I know. Since when do you care? I thought it wasn't any of your business if the laws enforced by your superiors might be unfair to us non-humans. I know what you think of me, Miss Circe, but I am not your enemy. The SSF do what we must to protect supernaturals from humans and them from us. Sometimes that means the occasional casualty on our side. Our side, he says. When has he ever been on our side? Anyhow, given the things that you get up to in your own time, I do not think you should be judging anyone else. I'll judge whoever I want, whenever I want. I don't kill vamps out of some sense of moral superiority. I kill them because it's fun and it pays the bills. Maybe that makes me a bit of a bitch, so what? I'm not so sanctimonious that I need to pretend my actions are morally justified. Are you really so irredeemable when you only kill the bad ones? Don't paint me as some sort of anti-heroine. All vampires are bad, even you, especially me. Same goes for humans, werewolves, witches, you name it. We're all equally capable of bad and good. That's why it means something when we choose to do good. Abraxas doesn't look surprised by her speech. He may not know the full extent of what Circe used to get up to before Northaven, but unlike Edgar, he can surely imagine. This Circe is on her best behavior, and if you ever have the misfortune of meeting her at her worst, well, good luck. I only target the so-called bad ones because I don't need any more trouble with the law than I already have. Also, if someone's willing to pay to see you dead, not once but twice, you're probably an asshole anyway. Abraxas shakes his head. He gives up on adding anything to this conversation, returning to the previous subject. Technically, I'm not betraying orders. It's not me who's investigating this after all, it is you. And if you happen to feed some information back to me, that is simply how it goes. Loophole of the century. Circe folds her arms over her chest. I'll help you under one condition. Why are you making that face? You haven't even heard what I have to say yet. Fine, state your terms. It is quite simple. If you're so desperate for my help, beg for it. No. He moves to leave, but she blocks his path. Always so uptight. Let me rethink this. Abraxas just stares, waiting. She takes her time, hemming and hawing, simply for the amusement of keeping him in suspense. Oh, all right. I'll do it. His glare softens, only barely, but enough for her to notice. Thank you. Don't thank me. I'm not doing it for you. It just sounds like a compelling case, far more interesting than anything I've worked on lately. Maybe this is what will flush her out of her slump, keep her running Thorn investigations for another 20 years. You'd better pay us though, and provide a generous tip. Everyone knows Abraxas sits on a monstrous amount of generational wealth from his previous life, something she might as well use to her advantage here. That can be arranged. Perfect. Now, give me a moment to get dressed, and I'll get you out of here. There's no need, I have my own way. The balcony again? Absolutely not, Romeo. His eyes shift to the floor, brows drawing together. He's that conflicted about this. Perhaps it's because he's never broken the rules in the past. He fears the consequences should anyone learn that he's disobeying orders. She'd probably mess with him, but we'll be nice to him today. He's had a bad day. Or I guess, night? The SSF have no reason to monitor your every move. Even if someone does find out that you came here, surely you're quick-witted enough to think of an excuse on the spot. Yes, you're right. There are plenty of reasons why I might come to see you. Plenty, you say? Such as? He rolls his eyes and any previous hints of vulnerability vanish. Never mind that. Get dressed. I do not have all night, and neither do you. Just for the attitude, I'll make sure to take my sweet time. Circe leads Abraxas downstairs so he can leave through the front door like a normal person. In their office, a freshly shaven Edgar makes himself comfortable behind his desk. He's mid-bite on a biscuit when they re-enter. Oh, he is freshly shaven. Take that out of your mouth so we can understand. He swallows. Why is he here? Good to see you too, Thorn. Pleasure's all yours, prick. Oh, Edgar doesn't like him. Edgar's nasty glare softens only slightly when his eyes shift to Circe. I repeat, why is he here? And why was he upstairs? Maybe Circe's not the only one that's a little possessive. And how did he even get in? I've been here over an hour, the door's just been shut the entire time. Did he just show up during the day? Did you spend all... Edgar, you're spiraling. Before you let your imagination run to places I don't even want to imagine, how about you shut up and let me talk? It is funny, but also I kind of want to see what's up with the investigation, so let's hurry up and get out of here. He broke in earlier, tried to ambush me. Again, I did not break in, I snuck in, and I did not ambush you. I don't see the difference. That is what I said. I had a good enough reason to do so. Full offense, I still think you should have used the door. Alright, but what did he want? I am standing right here, Thorn. You could simply ask me. Or I could not. Abraxas sneers. In that case, I shall leave explaining to your boss. I think the word boss there was italicized, so would it be more like, in that case, I think I should leave the explaining to your boss? Like, emphasizing their relationship is one of, like, boss and employee. That's crazy. I love the concept of, like, immortal, 1,000-year-old creatures being childish and being, like, petty. Something about that is very funny. Edgar lifts his plate. You're going to piss off now, right? Have a biscuit before you go, fresh from our neighbor. I can't. Oh, that's right, you can't eat. I can, but the taste is repulsive and I cannot properly digest it, meaning I would have to... Abraxas pauses. Ah. You're mocking me. Guys, can we behave for 2 seconds so we can go meet that thief baddie that broke into the museum and stole something? Edgar stuffs a cookie in his mouth. Took you long enough. Abraxas focuses on Circe again. Report to me as soon as you find something interesting. You know where to find me. Yes, sir. Edgar lights a cig after Abraxas leaves. She waits for his patience to wear thin. It doesn't take long. So? He wants us to look into something. She explains everything to Edgar. Same as her, he's baffled that Abraxas would ignore a direct order from his superiors. It doesn't make sense. I know, which is why it is interesting. Some measly initials aren't much of a lead though. JM could be a person, an organization, or a movement. How would we know? Only one way to find out. Let's split up and check in with our contacts around the city to see if they've heard anything. You know which side is yours. Right. Enjoy your biscuits. I'll head out first. She walks up to the window. She's moments away from transforming when Edgar calls out. Circe, be careful, please. Worry about yourself, old man. 20 years ago, I was a boy. Today, I'm an old man. Give it another 10 years and I'll be dusting cobwebs in your eyes. It's a compliment. I like older men. She said it's a compliment. Old men are my type, and he said it's not a compliment. You have bad taste. Yeah, you have extremely questionable tastes. Don't downplay your sex appeal. Your creaky knees and back issues specifically are oh so attractive. Enough. Don't you have somewhere else to be? Try not to miss me too much. Circe transforms, circling Edgar once before she flies out the window and into the night. Thorne Investigations has established a trusted network of sources around North Haven over the past 2 decades. From small business owners to working girls to regular everyday people oblivious to the supernatural world, you never know who might have the intel you need. But tonight, none of their usuals has anything useful for Circe. No one's even heard of the initials before. For her last stop, Circe catches Nisha away from Elysium on her smoke break. Rare to see you 2 nights in a row. Don't get used to it. Wouldn't dare to. Nisha takes a long drag of her cig. She blows the smoke away from Circe. How did it go with the Fangling last night? Ugh, she would really prefer to forget the whole thing, but it seems the universe is intent on not letting her. SSF showed up. Nisha rolls her eyes, getting exactly what happened without Circe having to explain. Another reason Circe appreciates her, they share a dislike of law enforcement. Although, you'd be hard-pressed to find a supernatural in North Haven who doesn't dislike Abraxas. I'll let you know if Seth ever shows his mug around Elysium again. Since he couldn't pay his fee last night, he's on the shit list. I mean, technically, it was out of his control, but we're not meant to know that, so... Thanks, but if he knows what's good for him, he's already left the city. I wouldn't underestimate how stupid that idiot can be. Anyway, you're obviously not here to talk about Seth. What's going on? Have you seen the initials JM anywhere before? Nisha shrugs. No, is that someone important? Another dead end. Don't even know if it's a who or a what yet, but if you hear anything. Nisha tips her imaginary hat to Circe. You'll be the first to know, of course. Thanks. Nisha butts out her cig on the nearest wall. If that's all, I should get back inside. Elysium doesn't run itself. Lazarus still leaving all the work to you? He pulls his weight. Sometimes, you know. Kick him in the balls for me when you see him next. I quite like this job, so I will not be doing that, but you have my respect for your commitment to hating him. It's a lifestyle at this point. Nisha waves her goodbye and disappears inside the abandoned building. Circe sighs and returns to the streets. Let's see if Edgar had better luck. The lights are on when Circe enters the office. Edgar must have gotten back first. If you're here already, I guess you didn't find anything worthwhile either. She stops at the doorstep. Oh, you can't be serious. 2 break-ins in one night. Uh-huh. I knew she was like a thief or something. Edgar's nowhere to be seen. Standing behind his desk is the mystery woman from last night. Finally, Circe can see the woman for what she really is. A witch, yeah, A very powerful one, if she is able to conceal her magic like that. There you are, I've been waiting for you. Her eyes leave the streets outside to meet Circe's gaze. They stare at each other for a long beat, neither willing to break eye contact or begin the conversation. Eventually the woman smiles, impressed for some reason. You have a spine, a quality I respect, as long as one does not mistake it as suitable replacement for competence. As you are doing right now? The woman laughs. You have a sense of humor as well. That is good. When Circe doesn't move, the woman pushes away from the wall to stand up straight. She's tall in the same way that models are. It should be a pointless, ridiculous, inappropriate thought to have in this moment, and yet Circe can't help but feel like there's something supernaturally bewitching about the woman before her. Apologies and introductions are in order. Which would you prefer to hear first? You choose. Oh, well, if you insist. My name is Nocturne. I'm not a local, but perhaps my accent gave that away already. I wonder what kind of accent she has. Among the many strange circumstances of the situation, Circe barely notices the subtle French. I should have guessed that from Nocturne. I'm sorry to ambush you like this in your own office, but you're a busy lady. It is not so easy to get you alone. Please do not worry, I truly mean you no harm. Am I expected to just believe that? Apparently so, because Nocturne continues talking like nothing's out of the ordinary. It is really pleasurable to meet you, Circe. I've heard terrible things about you and the work you do, which means you must be good at it. Whatever you've been told about me, I'm probably worse. Perfect. That is exactly the kind of woman I'm looking to hire. Circe narrows her eyes at the witch. You want to hire me? For what exactly? Nocturne doesn't look like she requires any help killing your typical street vamp, so it's definitely not for that. The same thing everyone hires you for, darling. I'm looking for someone. I want you to find them. Right. Unfortunately for you, I'm quite busy at the moment, so I won't be able to take your case. Goodbye. Nocturne's voice is firm, even as her perfect smile stays painted on. You're already looking for them. Who? Ah. So, JM is a person? I presume so. The person they're pretending to be. The real JM was a brilliant young witch. But who knows when it comes to this imposter? They could be anyone for all we know. How do you know it's an imposter? Why couldn't it just be the real JM? Because she is dead. Nocturne's tone is so detached, Circe can hardly believe this isn't all just one big joke. She's dead. Quite dead, yes, I would know. I killed her. She's dead. And you killed her. Murdered, slew, killed, offed, sang a lullaby in the river with the fishies, whichever word you prefer. Assuming that's even true, why would you admit that to a complete stranger? I told you I've done my research, I know everything I need to determine that you are capable of this job. If I did not believe you were capable, I would not be here. I am not a witch who wastes her time on whims. Throughout this conversation, Nocturne's smile has never fallen. Till now. Oh. You must understand, it is important to me that this person is found. I want the best detective possible on the job, and I believe that to be you. So you will take my case, and you will find the imposter and the artifact that they got their thieving little hands on. You will bring them both to me, and you will not disappoint. Money is of no consequence to me, so you will of course be well compensated for your efforts. For once, Circe is genuinely at a loss for words, but Nocturne doesn't seem to mind. I'll take your silence to mean you accept, yes? I wonder if that's our first time being intimidated in like years and years and years. Okay, I guess we've reached the end of the demo. There's still a couple more like branch dialogue options we'll check out, but then I have some like final thoughts as well after that. Talking to Lazarus is a horrible idea, which is exactly why she's going to do it. She already knows where to find him. He rarely leaves his private lounge. I wonder if we get a sprite for him. Okay, this is an NPC, but I don't think he's romanceable. I guess technically the romance route already happened pre-game. He's called by more than one name. The Prince of Elysium. Asshole. Dickhead. Occasionally Laz, but only by those who've had the misfortune or pleasure, reviews vary, of being part of his inner circle. To Circe, he's just Lazzy, former fling, current pain in the... I mean, I will give it to him that he is gorgeous, but also he does look, oh god, and I trust Circe more than I trust him, so I'll take her word on it. Don't act shy, baby. It doesn't suit you. Circe steps past the guards and the curtains, eyes doing a quick sweep of the hazy room, even though she knows it won't have to change. He is probably like stoned out of his mind, like eternally, like 24/7. His idea of a fashion accessory is probably like a hookah pipe or something. That thing probably barely leaves his hand ever. Circe steps past the guard and the curtains, eyes doing a quick sweep of the hazy room, even though she already knows it won't have changed. Eventually, her eyes have nowhere to go but Lazarus. He's sprawled out on that gaudy, overpriced sofa he loves so much. Yep, he definitely lounges around like half naked all the time. Watching her with a look that says he hasn't decided if he should be furious or aroused by her unwelcome appearance. Oh my gosh, please. Coming to talk to him was such a bad idea. We should just leave. Staring back at him, she almost understands why he captured her interest in the first place. He's got those sad, coked up eyes. Oh no. Teenage girls like to fantasize about. In another life, he could have been a famous rock star. His gaunt face and cocksure grin would have been plastered all over the city on billboards and magazine covers and as drunken tattoos on some poor college girl's ass. Whoa. In this life, he's nothing but wasted potential. I've got to be honest, that is kind of sad. And I wonder if that's part of the reason why Circe left him. But he's not completely useless. You just have to approach him the right way. No, yeah, we're gonna dominate him. Please, thank you. Circe starts talking before he's even sat up. Don't you get sick of talking like that? Like what? She mimics his ridiculous accent. I'm Lazarus and I like naked chicks and big guitars and rock and roll and even bigger tits. Of course, Lazarus responds by exaggerating it even more. You know I like it, babe. She gags. You know, I'd prefer it if you called me a bitch. I'm not that much of a dick. Then invite me to sit if you're such a gentleman. He pretends to hesitate, but he's so impatient he can't maintain the charade for any longer than a second. Whatever, you're here already. Go on, beautiful, have a seat. She eyes the settee opposite of him for any suspicious fluids. That's so gross. Before she sits, better safe than sorry. As petty as ever, aren't you? But I've missed you so. Me, petty? I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you don't. What brings you here tonight? I'm looking for someone. I don't know what that is. Oh, he's French as well. Oh no, Circe is not having any luck with these French people. The French slips out without his permission, a reminder of his real accent. Lazarus cranes his head back and groans. So he has a French accent, but he's putting on some other kind of fake accent is what you're saying. Of fucking course you are. Who's the unlucky man this time? Who says it's a man? You're wearing that sadistic smile you only put on when you're about to torture some poor bastard. She fishes out the photograph from her bra, pretending she doesn't notice how his eyes shamelessly linger on her cleavage. I can't tell if this guy like actually at one point loved her or if he's just like a really sleazy dude that's like this to everyone. I don't know what they called him, but I hear he's a fangling. Apparently he's been seen around Elysium the past few nights. Is that supposed to mean anything with me? She shoves the photo forward with impatience. He's one of your patrons, you tell me. Lazarus squints at the picture. Oh, this picture better be fucking ancient. Kid has no style at all. He'll totally look out of place at Elysium. I'm not here for your opinion on his abysmal sense of fashion. Do you know him or not? He squints harder. Yeah, no, I have no clue who this is. And thank fuck for that. I get nauseous just looking at him. That's what you're focused on right now. What? Do you want me to lie to you? Kid's got an unfortunate face. That's not my fault. He turns away from the photo like it's offended him. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. You know, I actually suspect I'm allergic to the anesthetic. Breaks me out in hives. Circe rolls her eyes, stashing the picture back inside her bustier. Anyway, you know very well it's Nisha's job to keep track of who comes and who goes. I've got important shit to do. She eyes the glasses scattered across the table, the line of powder on the glass. Like drinking yourself to death over and over. Lazarus rolls his eyes at the question. They both know why he feels the need to drink as much as he does. Nisha loves responsibility. I don't. That's why we're perfect partners. Like we're soulmates or something. Remind me, what do you contribute to this partnership? A lot. Like, you know what? Nothing comes to mind at the moment, but I'm sure there's something. Elysium might as well be Lazarus's brainchild, but when it comes to running the place, he'll only do what he wants to do, which isn't much. It's his right-hand Nisha, a human who manages everything. Most of his patrons protested when she was appointed manager, but she's had a decade to earn their grudging respect. When Nisha finally decides to usurp you, I'm taking her side. Yeah, right. You'd miss me too much if something happened to me. I disagree. Care to find out who's right? He downs the rest of his drink at the same time, gesturing for another with his free hand. One of the donors on standby slices her palm, dripping fresh blood into a clean glass. She hands it over with an adoring smile. For you, master. Thanks. He accepts it without even glancing at the woman who obediently scuttles back to her corner in the room. Circe watches the entire interaction with disgust. Can we be honest, Circe? Just one time? Come on, let's be honest. You're a smart woman. You already knew I wouldn't know him. He sips his drink with surprising restraint, watching her over the rim of his glass. So, why come to me? In all honesty, she's not sure. Well, we came because we were curious and wanted to see the dialogue options and sprites. But why Circe would come, I don't know. Maybe to like mess with him? It's definitely not because she missed him. Lazarus has a way of crawling under her skin that makes her feel alive again, but she's never been a masochist. Maybe she was hoping he'd be the cure to the chronic boredom haunting her as of late. Could that be it? Honestly, okay, this might just be a crack theory, but I think she probably honestly just went to check on him to make sure that he's not dead yet. How naive of me. Elysium hasn't changed since she was last here, and the same goes for Lazarus. He puts on a good show with his theatrics, but he is just as permanent as the rest of them. Unable to grow, unable to change, unable to escape this. Yeah, and that's like playing into probably the reason why Circe left him in the first place. He's someone that probably really doesn't want to improve himself at all, unlike some humans like Edgar and other supernaturals that she knows. Like, they get kind of complacent, conservative, and stuck in their ways because they're immortals and time holds little value for them. That's probably why he's completely fine just lounging around all day and drinking himself into the ground. Since you refuse to be useful, I'm not going to waste any more of my time. If luck is on my side, we will never see each other again. This is goodbye, Lazarus. You're leaving? Already? Don't be so dramatic. She stands up, more than ready to get the hell out of there. Lazarus chucks his glass aside and leans forward, reaching out. Do not touch me. And stops right before their fingers can brush. I wasn't going to. He reclines again, hands raised in mock peace. Look, it's no secret I have a soft spot for you. I always have been lenient when it comes to your hobbies, but I'm still running a business here. Elysium's clientele have certain expectations when it comes to safety, so I can't let you prance in here as you wish and murder one of them on a whim. Haven't we already been over this? I feel like we have. More than once, the conversation tends to end in her favor. Who said anything about murder? Do I look fucking stupid to you? Fine, who says I need your permission to kill him? Don't worry, I am under no impression that words alone would be enough to stop you. You respond far better to other methods. Is that a threat? What? No. If I say it is, will you leave without killing my customer? No, I will just kick you in the balls first. Hot. You're disgusting. Baby, you know your threats always turn me on. Lazarus straightens in his seat, as much as his permanently inebriated state allows him to. Look, I don't give a shit what my clients get up to outside Elysium, but inside my club, murder kinda sucks for business, you know? Gets the whole mood down. But you don't want to have that Fangling as one of your patrons anyway. He's bottom-of-the-barrel scum who preys on vulnerable women escorts and the homeless, and whoever he's decided won't be missed. Is he wrong in thinking that? Okay, now she's seriously considering kicking him. Just one kick. He won't even feel the pain through all the substances he's been abusing. Keep your fangs to yourself, little bat. I'm not saying I agree with his choice of sustenance, but I'm sure we can both see where his reasoning comes from. Or are you gonna pretend that he's the only vamp in North Haven to prey on the most vulnerable? As Lazarus gets more agitated, his real accent starts to slip through. We cannot all be like you, mon coeur. I do know that means my heart. I do not remember how to pronounce that. Moving on. We cannot all be bothered to pretend like we can be friends with our food. Circe curls her lip at the snub. Sighs. If I start judging all our patrons based on their conduct outside Elysium, I won't have hardly any customers left. Well, sounds like a you problem, honestly. Before you suggest that could be a good thing, consider this. Without an endless legal supply of fresh blood, who do you think all the hungry vamps in the city are going to feed on? Damn it, he's making sense. She hates it when he does. It's only a matter of time before he attacks one of your donors. Now that makes him pause. Lazarus has never tried to hide his lack of love for humans, but he does care for the well-being of his donors. Who knows if it's out of genuine empathy, hidden somewhere deep inside that dead heart of his, or if it's just because them dying would be an inconvenience, but he tries to keep them out of harm's way. That would be bad for business. You got a particular reason to believe he would do that? Call it a bat's intuition. Or just common freaking sense, but Laz has never listened to that, so... Just tell him that you read it in, like, the tarot cards or something. He would probably believe you. I've listened to your intuition before. It's gotten me into trouble one too many times to count. But it's also saved your ass plenty of times, hasn't it? I suppose. Alright, say I believe you. I still can't ban the Fangling unless he's actually broken one of Elysium's rules. It'd make me look bad. But if you leave him be and he hurts one of your donors, you do look even worse. Damn, this is inconvenient. He scratches his nose, a nervous tic he's had as long as she's known him. It's okay, you can just say he starts sniffing. It never fails to irritate her. Doesn't Edgar have the exact same quirk? But like that doesn't irritate her with him. Okay, how about this? If he really is just some nobody Fangling, I could hypothetically turn a blind eye. Like, he believes himself. Some people are simply too unimportant to be remembered when they're gone. Don't do whatever you're gonna do anywhere near here, though. Don't want Orion and his circus to come snooping around. Or even worse, that lilac-eyed bastard you're so fond of. I am not fond of him. That's your paranoia talking. But of course, I can be discreet. Just make sure your sycophants know that I've got permission to roam Elysium freely for the night. I'll let the staff know to set the Fangling your way if they see him, but be quick about it. Makes people nervous to see North Haven's biggest vampire slayer loitering around. Couldn't pay me to stay another minute. She's already said more than she wants to, but of course Lazarus isn't done yet. He has to have the final word. Anytime I don't see you for a while, I kind of forget how infuriating you can be. She's afraid to meet his gaze, already knowing what awaits. That look of pure, unadulterated affection. It's insanely sexy. You're repulsive. Have I ever told you that? More than once. Gets me rock hard every time. Ugh. Don't worry, you don't need to like me back. I enjoy the violent sadness your revulsion brings me. Because Lazarus loves to wallow, it's all he ever does. He'd done it even during their entire thing together, whatever it'd been. She's happily sworn off relationships since theirs ended. Clearly, they're just not for her. And yet, a part of her still... No, love's just not for me. I'm sorry for the way things ended. I should have appreciated you more. It's the same speech every time. You were right to break up with me, but it's never too late to take me back. I still yearn for you, my love, my heart, my soul. It feels like my blood vessels don't even have anything in them without you. Won't you let me be yours again? Absolutely not. Oh please, who is she trying to pretend she is? The bigger person? You cannot seriously want that. I want you all the time, Circe. I always have. We were awful together. With or without you, I'm a poor excuse for a man. We might as well be awful together. Where's your sense of shame, Lazzy? Shame? The fuck would I need that for? Shame is a disease. All it does is stop you from going after what you really want. Maybe what we really want isn't what's best for us. When has either of us ever really cared what's best for us? Her skin crawls under his intense stare. Whatever, I've got a Fangling to catch. Very well. See you in a few months, I guess. I'll try to edge myself until then. Lazarus doesn't try to hold her back this time. She leaves, feeling more disappointed than she deserves to. She should have known tonight wouldn't be any different. She's not sure why she even wanted it to be. Let me go back to the title screen. and then we can talk about that. That is it for all the content from Circe's route. I do believe we really did check out essentially the vast majority of the important options and content. I will not be playing Dante's route of the demo. Maybe if they change something and add like a cute girl to his route in the final version of the game, we can check it out, but until then, I think I'm pretty satisfied with what I've seen of the demo. I do have some final thoughts, so we'll get into that now. First, I think the aesthetics and artwork for this game are drop dead gorgeous. I absolutely adore the character design of Circe, and the other characters are alright too. They're, you know, stereotypically conventionally attractive. Someone like Circe is not a character you get to see a lot in Otome games especially, and I love her personality as well. So it's like she's gorgeous and she has a great personality and she has like her own inner struggles. It's already quite complex of a character, and her relationships, I guess specifically the relationships between all the characters in this game so far, are already lovely. I love whatever she has going on with Abraxas. That's probably my preferred route at the moment, but we haven't seen too much of Nocturne yet. She's quite forward, which does intimidate me, but who knows, maybe Circe is a switch as well, as she swings both ways. And then of course Edgar's a sweetheart type character, and I also love that the individual love interests have relationships with each other. Edgar's weird rivalry thing that he has going on with Abraxas is hilarious. The fact that Edgar might have some kind of vague thing with Raoul is hilarious, and that the other protagonist also exists in the universe. That is extremely fun as well. It really helps flesh out the entire scope of the world when you get to see the characters interacting not just with the protagonist character but also with the other characters. My only issues with the game were like mechanical issues. For some reason the save and load screen was just not really working for me. Like, it would almost crash the game every single time I try to save. I'm sure that could be fixed in the final game. The actual graphics and everything else looks really good. I will say I had a hard time seeing my mouse, which was completely fine when we were reading the dialogues because it made the mouse unobtrusive, but when we actually had to go on and click the options, it was kind of disorienting a little bit to try to find it against the black background. Yeah, there's no setting in the settings to change that. I would suggest adding to the final game like a high contrast version for those that want to be able to see it a little bit better. Like, make it an optional thing where the mouse outline is like white instead of red, or something like that. And some of the text was also a little bit difficult to read. The normal text across the bottom of the screen was okay when it was white, but some keywords were typed in like a dark neon purplish color to highlight them, and that color was not always the easiest to read. Maybe I'm just blind, but some kind of like high contrast version would be really nice. The little loading screen's cute. I loved the CGs that we did get. Hopefully in the final game we get like a little gallery where we can look at all the CGs from the games and the routes. Okay, that's my review for the game. I guess I'll give some like final thoughts on the actual story itself, like in universe. I really love these characters. So Circe, for sure my favorite. Second favorite probably Abraxas or Edgar, and then Lazarus was really fun as well. I actually really enjoyed the relationship between Lazarus and Circe that we saw here, or I suppose the nuclear radiation fallout of that relationship. Circe's relationship with her maker as well. The concept of your entire self essentially being shaped by someone who took advantage of you when you were much younger, and the fact that even if that relationship has since ended and it wasn't the best relationship in the world, not necessarily the most healthy, that doesn't change the fact that it did shape so much of your time when you were younger. Circe was 22 when she was turned. That could very well be considered still a child and at minimum a young adult. And then to see like this vampire that's perhaps lived for hundreds and hundreds of years, not really loving her, but loving what he sees as some kind of pet project, some kind of art product that he says he created. It's not difficult at all to see that as a parallel of some of the experiences that real life young women or young adults have had. Even after those relationships have ended, it does leave effects on your psyche and your view on the world and yourself and your personalities and your values. And then in contrast to Circe's relationship with her maker, we have her relationship with Lazarus, who is a fellow vampire and has more in common with her. I don't think it would be a stretch to say that they're on a more even playing field. To see the two of them interact and then kind of realize, yeah, this is why Circe and Lazarus are no longer together, and have that be so deeply understandable, yet it also be in some ways really sad. I really like the writing of this series. The type of guy Lazarus is a little bit amped up here, like it's dramatized, and when I was reading his lines I was being very dramatic about it, but you can meet this type of person in real life, someone who's essentially like stuck where they are and kind of has given up on themselves and the idea that they can improve, because self-improvement is not a passive process. It needs to have effort put into it. So he's kind of not really willing to change himself or work toward improving himself. He wants her to be with him, but he's not willing to change for her or improve himself, either for himself or for her. It's kind of sad because you can tell on some level Circe does still care about Lazarus, and in the past it's implied that she really did care about him, and that just makes it more painful. Like, if you don't care about someone, it's very easy to just walk away and completely forget about them, completely be apathetic. But when you care, it's like, I don't want to see this person that I love waste his entire life away lounging around and doing drugs and like drinking. When Circe says in another life someone like him could have been a model or a rock star and been very talented, and then when Lazarus says in another couple months you'll come back and see me again, and then when Circe says that he'll still be the same, that kind of thing is so jacked up, because if you truly love someone, you will work to better yourself, for yourself, yes, but also for them. And he's kind of not willing to make that effort for her, and she's unwilling to stay there forever and watch him destroy himself. So that's where their relationship had to end. And then of course Abraxas. Her thing with Abraxas, I love how the entire city essentially thinks that they're sleeping together. Like, Lazarus thinks that they're sleeping together, Dante thinks that they're sleeping together. It is just so funny, and honestly I still don't understand why he broke into her bedroom. That is still on some level crazy to me, because could this man not have just waited 10 minutes for her to go downstairs into the detective office after she had gotten dressed? I know he was trying to avoid being seen going into the detective office, but surely he can turn into a bat as well, probably, since he's a vampire. So he could just wait for someone to go into the office, fly in behind them real quick, or he could catch Circe out on the street when she leaves the detective office and kind of tail her and then talk with her. So yes, we will probably be doing Abraxas's route first whenever the final game comes out. I think the developer is set 2029 for a tentative full game release date. That is going to be a hot minute, so if you'd like to check out this demo that I played today, maybe see what's up in Dante's route, or follow the developer's page for updates, I will leave the links below. Overall, an absolutely lovely experience. I'll have to thank the friend that recommended this to me, and I'll also thank you for watching until the end. I will see you in the next video. Not sure what it's going to be yet at this point in time, but I guess we'll find out together. Stay safe out there.